But they're not all doing it, David.
Chain.
We're going for the long version. It takes 8 minutes.
All the versions of our national anthems.
Trevor Russell, Stewie. The Cats and Magpies at Blue Lake Sports Park for the 1990 Western Border League Grand Final. And this bloke will go all day now.
Really?
Yeah, I bet you. The slightest bit car keys found, you'll have lost kids, you'll have the whole bit going over that.
They've run out of chewies at the 4th stall down along the left here somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's just have a look here, Jim, in the budget. How professional Casterton was, just writing down who they'd recruited and just little pen picks like that. It's quite well done, actually.
Here's the toss, Picken and Carroll. Craig McAllister tosses the coin. Billy Picken's won the toss.
Yes.
He's going to go, well, he's going to go to the left of camera. There's no real breeze. Left of screen. Final huddle for the Cats. Number 28 is Gavin Johnstone. Number 44 is Big Brian McKenzie.
Looks as though Picken's going to centre half forward too, Jim.
Billy Picken.
Could be.
Who's the starting 4? Let's have a look now. That'll be interesting. For the
Young's in there.
Young is
Stevens is in there.
Number 5, Andrew Young. Number 33 is Malcolm Groves. Shoddy Stevens. Greg Stevens. Trevor Russell is in at the centre bounce, or will he come back onto the wing? He will come back onto the wing, I suspect. Number 14, David Lollett. For the Magpies. And there's a bit of a huddle going on at centre half forward. The forward line having a bit of a chat. Now they're going to break. Anything interesting? No, it's the back line, in fact. Shannon to pick up Picken. Look for these moves. And they're going cross meaning business. Number 27.
Hey?
Okay. Sorry. And umpire Terry Walters will get us underway in the 1990 Western Border League Grand Final from Blue Lake Sports Park. The two big men going at it, Carroll for Casterton and Young for Hamilton. No one decisive at that first centre bounce. Stacks on the mill, no free kick picked out of that by umpire Craig McAllister, and we'll have a restart. Opening moments of the Western Border League Grand Final. Bounce favours Carroll. He goes high, doesn't get a significant touch. Goes to ground again, knocked on. Picken will get the first free kick of the match, and bustling Billy Picken, captain coach of the Magpies, to drive the Maggies deep into attack. Going to the left of screen, the black and whites. And there's no real breeze out there, so no favour to each end, and that's either end, and that's Carroll going up for the big grab. So the two captain coaches will get the first two kicks of the game, and Glenn Carroll going deep in defence for the Casterton Cats. Coming towards the clubhouse side, capacity crowd. Big kick from Carroll. In front, batters couldn't take it. There's Lithgow, rather Nolte goes hard at the football. Nigel Allen, it was 10, comes back in the direction of Hamilton's 50-metre line.
They're
Players
fighting
on top, that's batters.
They're fighting at centre half forward here, Jim. They could be... The umpire moves in to break it up.
David Case is with me in the commentary box. Any early changes you've seen, David?
Well, the most significant one is, Jim, is that I see where Black was picked at centre half forward and Picken picked at centre half back, but they're both lined up at the other end of the ground. Picken's at centre half forward and Black's at centre half back.
Significant touch again for Billy Pickett as he shoots it wide in the direction that time of Craig Hards. Hards the runner, kicks in short, and it'll be marked by Gill of Hamilton, and the Maggies have a chance to bring up the first score. He'll kick from probably just on the 50-metre line, and a first chance of a score coming up in the 1990 Western Border League Grand Final. Brought to you by the Savings and Loans Company here on Channel 8.
Hamilton definitely settled the quickest, Jim. I think they've got into the pattern to play very quick.
That's a big kick, David, by Gill. That may have gone all the way. Number 3, Andrew Gill, brings up the first goal for the Magpies, and the Maggie fans are ecstatic at that. Shot of the young player on screen there. We'll cross down now to the boundary line for boundary line comments from Colin Murdoch. And Colin Murdoch, tell us about the atmosphere down on the big ground.
Crowd atmosphere was remarkably quiet early, but it's picking up now. Billy Picken's comment in the change rooms was what Hamilton does in the first few seconds will just set the tone for the rest of the game, and he led by example by getting the first kick.
Okay, first goal to the Magpies. Thank you, Colin Murdoch. Favours Carroll again from centre to Foran. Chris Foran tackled, couldn't get the kick in. Hectic stuff early. The Magpies are here to play this afternoon. Big kick forward by number 14 is David Lollett. Block goes hard. He can't take a clever tap on Batters. Intercepted for Casterton. They'll bring it out towards the defensive 50-metre line. Good tidy up work that time by Matthew Murphy. Interception though by Hamilton. No love lost between these two in the early stages. Again, down goes that time Murphy. Chris Molloy it was. Here's a chance for that time McKenzie. Good bump by Shannon. He went straight at the football. Chance for Nolte. Out Nigel Allen, number 10 it is. Over the boundary line and the throw-in, says umpire Craig McAllister. Well, hard body, David, early on.
Oh, Hamilton very impressive at this stage, Jim. They've really gone in, had a really finicky dip at the ball at this stage. I think Casterton just a little bit rattled here at this stage. They don't seem to be getting it as hard as what they were the last couple of weeks.
Good break that time by Allen again, but interception, good defensive stuff. Comes in the direction of Young. Young will kick long for Hamilton inside 50. Block's got it underneath it. Can't take the mark. Finally cleared away. Number 16 is Cameron McDonald. Goes wide for Casterton. Out towards that boundary line. And umpire Andrew McDonald will bring it back into play. Big crowd at the Blue Lake Sports Park this afternoon. Throw in. Young and Carroll. They'll be at it all day. Clever tap on that time by Silsby. Interception by number 4. That's David Nolte. Carroll over the top to Shannon. He's going to be besieged. The elbow raised that time by Gary Brooker. Carroll goes in. Tried to tap on that time was the youngster Batters. And finally a ball up inside 50 metres for the Magpies, who lead 1 goal straight on the scoreboard. And this the replay of the 1990 Western Border League Grand Final at Blue Lake Sports Park, brought to you by Savings and Loans.
Carroll's doing pretty well in ruck at this stage, Jim. But I'm afraid to say that Hamilton have taken the ball away much too easily here at this stage, and they'll need a big lift from players like Willerdort and the players around the ground, Kerr and Nolte, and these type players.
Well, significant touch from Lollett again. They got their last goal through his clever pass, and now his good movement on the left foot sets up Paul Block from almost 30 metres. Block's got it. He likes the kick. Goal umpire reckons it's okay. There's a shot of Paul Block. Brings up his first goal for the afternoon. And the Magpies are 2 goals straight. 12 points. The Casterton Cats, raging favourites for today's game, have yet to score. Well, you said it, David. They look a little rattled.
Yes, they're not really concentrating on the ball at this stage. They seem to be just perhaps head-hunting a little bit, but no doubt they'll settle down as the game goes on. Back
in the centre, umpire Terry Walters with the football. Getting us underway. We've played 5 minutes in the grand final. The Maggies have 2 goals. The Cats yet to score. Lollett again. That time it's an airy. Couldn't get foot the ball. Pressure in that time. Lollett again goes back on the footy. Williamson's down there for Casterton. A long way from the forward line. Pickett. Good feed off that time. Gill's besieged. Chance that time for Lithgow. His first touch. Bit of a question mark about Lithgow. In fact, he's down behind to play, Allen, from a heavy bump. It was Nigel Allen, number 10.
I don't think he's moved either, Jim. I think he's in a bit of trouble, Nigel Allen, and he's been one of their better players over, during the year.
Alan Smith went hard that time. That was Lithgow met solidly that time by Trevor Russell. Good hip and shoulder bump by the wingman. And the throw-in will take place. And there's a shot of number 10 for the Casterton Cats, Nigel Allen, in big trouble.
Met very fairly though, Jim. There was nothing much in that. Just turned out of the pack blindly, perhaps.
Lithgow goes to ground. In fact, he'll pick up a free kick Not happy with that decision, the Magpie boys, but Tony Lithgow, medal winner in 1989 in the competition, will shoot in a chance to bring up Casterton's first score from a free kick. Tony Lithgow, heavily strapped left arm, watch for him this afternoon. And it took a free kick to get Casterton's first on the board, and Hamilton have objective one thing, that is the footy. And it's been hard body stuff early. Lithgow beautiful off the boot. They love it behind the goals, but it's offline. This is to the right, Tony Lithgow. Casterton fans almost put that one down on the scorebook. But 1 point only. Stewie Beaton will bring it back. Number 6 is Tony Lithgow.
Casterton, you haven't yet got their running game going yet, Jim. I noticed out there that they've only got one at the ball, where Hamilton are 2s and 3s at the ball, got the overlap going and got players prepared to run and put their bodies in.
Stewie Beaton. Big kick in. Well over 50, almost to the square. Big grab, Williamson, Tim Williamson.
He's the player they'll be looking for now. If he can get going now and get the ball moving quickly to his forwards, anything could happen here.
Loose ball behind. Here's a chance this time for Alan Smith to bring up the first for the Cats, and he puts it through. Alan Smith kicks his first for the afternoon. Casterton get on the scoreboard with their goals. They're 1-1-7. The Hamilton Magpies, 2 straight goals, 12 points. Well, that loose player behind the pack, that's deadly.
Yes, Jim, and Alan Smith stayed down, read the ball off the pack very well, and once again Casterton's 2 key forwards figuring in that passage of play there. They're the 2 players I'll be looking forward to.
Casterton 1 goal 1. The Hamilton Maggies are 2 straight goals at Blue Lake Sports Park. We've played about 7 minutes of the first quarter. And a little bit of an incident there, you see it. Number 25 for the Cats is Darren Carlin. No love lost with him. And number 14, David Lollett. Lollett's had some important touches. Carlin's got a big job to do on the Champion Rover. Shot a Stewie Beaton back there with Alan Smith. The matchups, man-to-man duel, should be sensational this afternoon. Carroll goes high. Taken by Lithgow, second kick. Into centre half forward. Good defensive stuff by the Maggies that time. Andrew Howes was there. Breaks away again. Howes tries to fend off with the arm. David Nolte is tackled. But Terry Walters has intervened. And there'll be a Hamilton free kick. Ball coming out wide. Good running defence that time. And a 50-metre penalty. No, the free kick against that time. The Casterton number 5. That's Ian Willerdort. And it'll come downfield. And this is Batters with the ball. Batters. Long kick. Block with the fly. Couldn't get that one. Well, moved off the pack that time by Murphy. Murphy in short this time to Casterton. They've got the run on now. Loose man up the field. Number 31. That time for the Cats is Neale Guthrie. Fumble that time by Brooker. Willerdort it was. To ground they go. 27 that time was Stephen Jewell for Hamilton. Stewie Beaton tries off the ground. Good follow-up. Beaton took one high and will take a free kick. Stuart Beaton, the veteran. 300 games plus for the Maggies, and he's got the ball between half-back and wing. Clubhouse side. Stewie Beaton goes inboard. Bad kick from Beaton. Intercept that time by David Nolte. He's recovered. Allen goes hard at the football. Chance this time on that outer wing to be taken by number 12. That's Craig Hards. Around the corner to Gill.
They're certainly putting pressure on the Casterton runners now, Jim. I notice Hamilton, they're manning up very well at this stage.
Long kick downfield, poor kick in fact, and Timmy Williamson back in defence for the Cats takes the mark. In fact, it's not Williamson. Defending out of the fence this time. Kick in loose, good play that time by the Cats as they run through centre. That's Allen. Kicks a poor one, drops in short, cleared away by Noel Black, but it was an up and under. Picken couldn't take the mark. They had the numbers there. Hamilton came to ground nicely that time for 26. Cameron McDonald rather. Tackle high on number 7, Gary Brooker, and Brooker will take a free kick for the Cats this afternoon. And Brooker to bring it back into play for the Cats. Guthrie. Casterton up and running from defence. They look better when they do. Shoots it out wide. Chance out there for McArlein. Comes inboard. Bad hand pass. Gave the ball away to Hards. Hards will come across centre. Who's he looking for? Interception that time by Willerdort, but luckily it came back in the direction of Stephen Jewell. Back on the left foot.
Willerdort's had 2 chances to take 2 very important touches in the last 2 or 3 minutes, and he's fumbled both times. And I would have thought he would have been a more experienced player than that.
Lollett drives forward. Good interception in defence that time by number 27, Chris Molloy. And the youngster takes the ball over the line. Molloy, a great player, David, and there it is behind play. 2 players again, Lollett and Carlin going at it.
I think young Carlin should just settle down now and play. I just noticed in the first few minutes of this game that he's concentrating on perhaps muscling his player out. He should concentrate on perhaps the ball a bit more.
And the bounce down will take place inside 50 for the Magpies. Craig McAllister, the umpire, and he'll put it back into action. The individual duels have spoken about. Some classics. This is a good one too. Carroll going against batters. Big punch by the captain coach. Chance for Murphy. Read off well by Stevens. Kicks it inboard. Should be intercepted if the bounce is kind. It is kind to Allen. Back on his feet after copping a heavy knock. Inside to Shannon. Shannon sells the dummy nicely. Can run through the centre square. Has one bounce. Has the second. Draws a player. The direction that time of Nolte. Nolte into forward line. Good lead Smith. Good pass Nolte. Loose man Willerdort running down the ground. Can steady when he gets the ball and shoot on goal at that southern end. Good tackle beaten. He came late but he got there. Willerdort goes back and after the footy. Off the ground beaten and that'll be against the Stewie for in danger.
Very good effort there, Jim. I just perhaps criticised Willerdort a minute ago for a couple of fumbles. Once again he fumbled the ball, but credit to the man, he fought on hand and foot. Got his body over the ball and deservedly got a free kick for kicking in danger.
Well, Willerdort can put the Cats in front. No breeze, no significant wind here this afternoon. In fact, the windsock is hanging limp on the outer side. And Ian Willerdort will need to aim a little bit right and with the natural hook, bring it across his body. And there's a shot of the Casterton fans in their droves here. Number 5, Ian Willerdort, playing on a wing. Drifting down to half forward. Chance to put the Cats in front. Early stages of the 1990 Grand Final. Kicks delightfully off the boot. Willerdort puts it through for his first and the Cats lead by 1 point. Ian Willerdort.
The game settled down in a good even contest now. I've been very impressed with Young in the ruck. I think he's done a good job against Carroll this stage, but since Lollett's gone out of the centre, I think Hamilton's lost a little bit of drive there, so Greg Stevens picking up many important touches. So at this stage, a pretty even contest now.
The two captain coaches would have had a lot to say to both teams, of course, both from the Victorian side and Western Border League footy. Carroll and Young go at it again. Carroll that time to ground. Lithgow gets the loose ball. Out of the centre they come again, the Cats. This is when they're most dangerous. Long ball. Smith gets front position. Ball just drops short. Danger time for the Maggies. The feed off couldn't be taken. Here's another chance for Casterton. Williamson gets a left foot kick in. It'll be a free kick going Casterton's way. Got another chance for the Cats early on to put a major on the board. They lead by 1 point. We've played for just about 13 minutes of the 1990 Grand Final. Brought to you here on 8 by Savings and Loans. And Timmy Williamson had a wild kick that time, but he needn't have bothered. Number 9, Mickey McArlein will kick for goal for the Cats and extend the lead to 7 points. The kick from inside 50. Looks okay off the boot from McArlein. Again, the Casterton fans behind that southern goal like that one, and the Cats shoot away to a 7-point lead. Well, David, we know how critical it is for the starting fours to get the ball out of the centre, and that time good movement by the Cats.
Yes, the last 2 times now, Lithgow particularly has had 2 very important touches. Got the boot to the ball very, very quickly, which enabled the Casterton forward to get used to the ball.
Tony Lithgow, superstar in the competition. Glenn Carroll, captain coach the ruckman, giving him the feed.
Now we'll see what happens. We've got Stephen and Lollett both in the centre square now with Groves, so maybe they can get the ball out again.
Good movement that time to see Foran get an up and under. Covers about 40 metres both ways. Underneath the ball, good defensive mark, not paid that time by Howes it is. He runs off that left foot. Long kick back in the direction of centre half forward Picken. Ball to Trevor Russell, the creative Russell, sweeping left hand handball to Gill. Gill finds space, brings it inboard inside 50. Batters a lunge at the ball. He was desperate. Guthrie was there in case he missed, and he did. Can't get it away, Casterton. Dangerous handball intercepted. Stacks on the mill. Now they break away through Nigel Allen. Allen through the centre, and it's on behind play. We'll keep up with the action though. We've gone back to it. No love lost between Brooker that time. Gary Brooker in the action again for the Cats. Kick wide. Meanwhile, Casterton go forward, and a good mark taken on that inside 50 by Gavin Johnson. Long kick from Johnson. Smith almost on one grab. Tried on the second attempt. Comes to ground. Chance for Stevens for Hamilton. Going in over the ball, the Cats looking desperate at this stage. Hand pass comes wide. Smith, a wild kick, will be offline. He'll miss well to the right. Possibly had a little bit more time that time, Alan Smith, and offline. 3 goals, 2-20. The Magpies, rather the Cats. The Magpies, 2 straight goals. 3-2, 2 goals, and the Cats lead by 8 points.
Casterton now and Hamilton both now starting to settle down, Jim. Looking as though they're starting to try to get some form of team pattern going. But it's very, very tight out there at this stage, and the loose ball sort of floating around quite a fair bit.
Kick by Beaton, back towards the square. Billy Picken gets front position. He marks in front of Shannon. Feed off is good play. Coming away with the ball that time, Malcolm Groves, but he's intercepted. Chance for the Cats to get away with this one through Nigel Allen. Long kick back towards the goal squares, way offline, through for 1 point only. So some chances early and a sprayed kick that time for the Cats.
Good to see Allen up and about again, Jim. He went down very heavily early, but looks okay at this stage by the way he run around the wing.
Nigel Allen, number 10 and 20 years of age. Stewie Beaton with options, comes to the grandstand side. Hards has to sit, and good grab that time from Craig Hards, a dashing young defender. Left footer, that's not a good kick though, it'll drop short. Guthrie and Batters go at the ball. Coming behind the pack, Willerdort a chance to tidy up. Who's he look for? He'll be tackled that time by Silsby. Comes to ground from the loose kick. Foran can't take it. Good back up by Shannon for the Cats. Back towards McDonald. Noel Blackett was in fact the Hamilton. Ball comes to David Nolte. Nolte kicks in short. Here's the chance for the Cats. Good grab that time. It looks like Gavin Johnson and the former VFA
emergency
star.
umpire out on the ground behind the play here, Jim, but nothing much in it.
Greg Driscoll is that man. There's a shot of Greg Driscoll. Just checking on what's going on behind the scenes. Big long kick from Gavin Johnson, just drops short in the goal square. Good retrieve by Mickey McArlein, number 9 for the Cats, and the Cats go marching on. They're 4 goals, 3-27. The Hamilton Magpies, 2 straight goals, 12. And they're really looking pretty hot now, the Cats.
Oh, yeah, 2 very important touches by Mickey McArlein there. And once again, Casterton now starting to settle down and start to play the footy.
McArlein, very dangerous player for Casterton.
I think Billy Picken, the mark, he's looking in the centre of the ground there, Jim. I think he would have been better off to have gone back and driven the ball deep into their attack, but the player wasn't really ready for the ball running past, and consequently got trapped, and then Casterton turned the ball over and took it back into attack.
Well, the Cats and the Magpies. So Billy Picken's got some work to do. They started very well, the Hamilton team, but now they trail suddenly by 15 points against the running Casterton side. We're almost at the 20-minute mark of this, the first term. Shot then of Andrew Young. Big ruckman for the Hamilton Maggies. Carroll wins the hit out. That's becoming monotonous. Well-read Lollet. Kick to half forward is stopped that time by Stephen Jewell. Rather, number 27 is Chris Molloy. The youngster kicks wide towards that outer side, hugging the boundary line. Chris Foran goes for the footy. With him is Andrew Gill for the Cats, for the Magpies, and it'll be a throw in. Interesting statistics at half back line. Hards has already had 5 kicks for the Hamilton side. Good running defender, we've said. Lollet's already had 4 kicks, the damaging rover for Hamilton. They'll need to do more though, because they're under attack again as here come the Cats. Long towards half forward to sit from behind. McArlein in front. Good defensive mark will be paid. That time to Andrew Howes. That half back line. The feed off from Howes was dangerous and optimistic, but they'll get a free kick to get out of it, Hamilton. Little lucky that time. The tackle was certainly hard. And they'll kick it back into play. Number 27 is Stephen Jewell.
Just feel as though Hamilton now are perhaps trying to play the short game too much, Jim. It would be far better off to get the ball down where Picken was dominating early in the quarter. Instead of that, they're looking for the handball. A lot of players are not really ready for it at this stage.
Kick number 6 coming up for Craig Hards. The left footer from the half back line this time. Long in front, Picken. Good spoil by Shannon. Punted forward for Hamilton. Loose ball. Running onto it that time was Shane Dempsey, but he was besieged. Finding the tempo of Western Border League footy a little different. Into centre half forward, Timmy Williamson, the big grab. Comes on left foot. Long to half forward, through half forward. Good defensive mark again that time by Craig Hards, and he'll have kick number 7. And plenty of touches early on for the youngster. Long towards that outer wing. In front that time Lithgow, not paid, to ground. Good play Hamilton to feed on to bustling Billy Picken. The captain coach goes long. Didn't have the football that time. Hamilton mess it up. It's Williamson out there covering plenty of territory into Shannon. Billy Picken's opponent. Good feed off by Hamilton. They run the ball out of that wing position. Good pass, and McArlein in front takes the mark close to the boundary. In fact, it was too close to the boundary, Michael. And the ball will be given across to Hamilton defenders, and they'll kick it in. Long kick back towards centre half forward, taken beautifully off hands that time by Casterton, driving the ball back in towards that 50-metre line, and again hugging that boundary line, and perhaps a little bit indirect, David.
Yes, I feel as though they should be going straight down to the middle of the ground, using their key position players instead of going around the ground. And just take notice here, Jim, that Billy Picken's been reported for striking Gary Brooker. This happened behind the play there. So we'll see what the result of that is, perhaps on Monday night at the Tribunal.
Okay, that was behind play. Terry Walters, the umpire, doing the booking. And there he is, bustling Billy Picken, the legend of VFL football, and of course a dominant figure for the Hamilton Magpies in 1990 in Western Border League footy. What a great player he's been over the years, and expressing some anger this afternoon, as David Case said. Billy Picken reported at about the 25-minute mark, or just inside the 20-minute mark of the first quarter, 1990 Grand Final Western Border League. The ball shot wide. Running player has Hamilton in front that time. Good movement. The tackle was solid though on Stephen Jewell. He got the ball across to Trevor Russell. Russell a boot on the left foot over 50 metres. From behind, McKenzie went the punch, but tidying up nicely behind him is Molloy.
Hamilton are taking the long way around, Jim. 4 or 5 kicks to get the ball from the back line to the half-forward line, then when they could have went straight down the ground perhaps. Instead of that, they're just kicking the ball around the flanks here, and like Mt.Gambier being such a big ground, it's a long way home.
Same dimensions, David, as the MCG, so they've got to start using the football, and now we see Hamilton playing a little bit short. This is in fact number 16, Andrew Kerr, and Kerr a long ball towards half-forward. In front, big grab taken by Neale Guthrie.
This player played superbly in the second semi-final. He's really come of age, Neale Guthrie. Been in and out of the Casterton side for quite a number of years, Jim, but really cemented his place in the side now.
Good place, Allen, as he runs inside 50, chips the ball in towards the goal square. In fact, maybe didn't go for goals, was looking for the running player, Tony Lithgow. Maybe the better option then in hindsight would have been to go long for number 10, Nigel Allen, but he chipped away and threw for one behind. 4-3, that'll make it 4-4 to 2 goals straight. So a 16-point margin to the Maggies. This is Timmy Williamson, drafted by North Melbourne for next year. Shoots it wide, Tony Lithgow, and they're finding plenty of room now, the Cats. Inside Lithgow. Lead from Alan Smith is accepted on the second grab, and it looks ominous for the Magpies. Smith marking, and he'll kick from about 30 metres. Left-hand pocket. Not the easiest shot for goal, but Alan Smith, a very experienced player, but David, not the best kick in the competition.
No, I've watched during the year with Smith. He would have kicked a number of points this year.
Doesn't make the distance this time, and again Hards goes in, and Hards already had about 8 kicks. A lot of work for the defence of Hamilton as Hards puts a big torpy downfield and sitting behind the pack that time and taking a good mark. It was number 56, Shane Dempsey, but he lost the ball, and Hamilton Casterton bring it back into centre half forward, and in fact the free kick will go to number 6, Andrew Howes, for the Maggies.
Howes is doing a good job on Johnson at this stage. You know, Johnson hasn't picked up many possessions at all, and he's shut him right out of the game. He's a very dangerous player, Johnson.
Gavin Bench went for a run and lost it, but will get a free kick. The high tackle, a couple of the Hamilton boys not happy. Chris Foran's not happy. There's Billy expressing his anger as well, but it will go to Hamilton, I feel sure. Craig McAllister just explaining. In fact, there's another report, David.
Yes, I would say Chris Foran, I would say.
Chris Foran reported, and Bench will kick it out of the fence. Gavin Bench, the veteran defender. At 29 years of age and 6'2", about 186 centimetres, Gavin Bench brings it back in towards the centre for the Maggies. They need a big lift. Going uncontested that time was Darren Carlin. Didn't take the mark, but not good play, Hamilton. They might be able to get out of it, but Williamson's there for the loose ball. Chips away wide again. Running player McArlein, and giving him far too much room is Dean Hazel. McArlein chips in short. Lead from Smith. One grab, Alan Smith. And good team pattern. They've got a system going forward, David.
Yes, they're creating that loose space all the time. They're just chipping the ball away into the vacant spaces there and giving Alan Smith plenty of opportunities to get to the football.
Timmy Williamson has had 6 kicks already for Hamilton, and he's got them down the ground. Now Smith kicking a vital kick. They need a score. He can't get it. Big lift from behind by Lithgow. And Tony Lithgow takes the big grab. A 50-metre penalty will bring him right in front. But Craig McAllister's not having any of that. And watch for this man this afternoon. A couple of big grabs during the season, and that's a nice one to start the grand final for 1990.
Very exciting player. Has had a very good start to the grand final at this stage, Tony Lithgow. Had many, many important touches.
Check side, Lithgow. Puts it through.
Great kick.
And that is a very confident kick for goal.
Just goes to show the skill of the man. Huge skill potential, Tony Lithgow. Can understand why he's a former Western Border League medalist.
And the 5th goal coming on the board for the Cats. They go to 5-4-34. It's a bit of a procession at the moment. Hamilton are 2 straight goals, 12 after a great start. The Magpies in trouble. Number 6 on screen is Tony Lithgow. And his opponent for this afternoon, number 33, Malcolm Groves, has got a lot of work to do.
I think Groves is tagging him too, Jim. I see Groves was standing the mark down there and he's been following Lithgow all over the ground, but I think they may be better off to use Groves in more of a attacking role because he's a too good a player to have as a tagging player.
Shot of the big crowd here at Blue Lake Sports Park. We'll get you a gate a little later on, but I think well over $25,000.
Were you saying something then?
And Terry Walters about to get us underway.
And I noticed Craig Hards now, Jimmy's had 9 kicks and 5 marks in the first quarter. It's an excellent effort by Craig. He's done a good job so far.
He has, David, but he's in defence, and that tells you where the ball's been for most of the game. Kick forward, Guthrie, and your favourite player has taken a mark again. Handed off that time to Brooker. Brooker goes long towards the grandstand side, wide. Race for the ball that time. Good defensive stuff by number 5, Young. The big man, interception that time by Hamilton. Number 25 of the ball was Darren Carlin. He's besieged and met. Trevor Russell goes after it, putting in that time as Cameron McDonald. And the free kick will go to Cameron McDonald. A crude tackle on him that time by Trevor Russell, the veteran. And McDonald will kick from just between half-back and wing for the Cats on the grandstand side. It kicks not a great distance that time. Willerdort goes one-handed. Well read that time by Wayne Hazel. Goes backwards to Picken. Picken in defence or on the ball, David. Watch for that one.
I think Black's gone to centre-half forward, Jim. I noticed Black down here now, just in action where the play is, and Picken's definitely gone to centre-half back now. Picking up Williamson for sure.
Big kick from Carroll, wobbles off the boot. Bustling Billy in front. Will he get the free kick? Terry Walters turned his back on that and didn't see it. Number 10's the runner for Hamilton, for Casterton, Nigel Allen. This time he'll chip away at goal. Good defensive work back there by guess who? Craig Hards. And Mick McArlein brings him to the ground. And interesting umpiring that time. Free kick went missed.
Yes, I would agree with you there, Jim. Come right over the top of Billy, pushed him to the ground. I felt as though he should have got a free kick.
And the kick in to be taken by Dean Hazel. In fact, it's not Craig Hards. Hazel will kick the ball in for Hamilton. Back towards Picken. Big leap from behind by Williamson. Comes to ground. Number 28 was Gavin Johnstone. The kick went nowhere. Glenn Carroll got a chance to run. He'll feed it off to McDonald. McDonald tries to get round one too many. Inside that time taken by Nigel Allen. This time Allen will shoot on goal at the southern end, and Allen has kicked one.
Sensational player. Second semi-final, absolutely dominated the game down at Coleraine. And I noticed that Nigel Allen's playing on the scoreboard wing, but he's spending a lot of time running across the ground diagonally. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if he's not switching with someone on the half-forward flank line, and they're using it like a crisscross effect because Allen is spending a lot of time running through half-forward.
6-4 plays 2 goals, and we're into time on, well into time on in the final quarter of the Western Border League Grand Final. Number 16, in fact, David has told me, is Andrew Kerr. My apologies to Cameron McDonald. There's only a couple of subtle differences between the two, but we won't go into that, David. Ball at the centre bounce. Greg Stevens. Stevens needs a lift. He's had hardly a touch, and there he's got one, Dave.
Yes, that's what they need. I can't understand, though, like, Stevens handballed the ball into Picken, who was flat-footed, and they really need to get that ball in quickly to their forward line because block one-on-one will just about beat anyone, I'd say.
Ball driven in nicely by batters, and Shane Dempsey from the Southwest District League was a superstar in that league, kicked over 100 goals, but he's found the tempo and the size of Western Border League players a bit different. Beautiful kick off the boot by Dempsey. It'll fade left at the northern end, and it's through for 1 point when the Maggies desperately wanted to score. Number 56 is Shane Dempsey. Kick in by McKenzie. Chips away short. Brooker. In fact, it was Brooker indeed, it was. Gives it across that time, and there they go again, the Casterton Cats. Down ground. Number 17 was Chris Foran. Williamson again, kick number 7. Long lead by Johnson. Strong body on the ball. The defenders know when he's around. Chance to tidy up for Hamilton. They do, and do it well. Hand passed off to Wayne Hazel. Has to feed it off again. Out of the fence they come. Hamilton, good body work in there, but equally as well by the Cats. Glenn Carroll goes hard at the footy. On top of it, Allen. And finally the ball up will take place. The attacking side of the centre. Terry Walters to bounce the ball down for the Hamilton Magpies. They trail by 27 points.
Going to be very interesting to see as the game develops, Jim, just how long these two ruckmen can keep going at it, because they've been at each other right from the very first bounce. Be interesting to see who they're going to change with and give a go on the ball.
First free kick is paid this time, and it'll go Hamilton's way, and they'll bring the ball back towards centre. Trevor Russell in the middle of the circle will take the mark at Blue Lake Sports Park on the left foot. Raking kick, beautiful pass from Russell, and it's marked out here by Stephen Jewell. They're holding the play up as Jewell kicks in towards centre half forward. They want the big timber block leading from behind. Comes to ground. Chance for Wayne Hazel. Number 3 is Gill. Good smother. And siren sounds. That's it for the first quarter at the Blue Lake Sports Park. The 1990 Grand Final being brought to you by Savings and Loans. And at quarter time, Casterton 6 goals for 40. Lead Hamilton 2-1-13. Well, that was the warm-up quarter.
Yeah.
Gee, they're hard to pick up.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, particularly wide. Particularly.
Outside the fence, please. Of the arena.
Umpire's done a good job so far, Jim.
Yeah, not a lot, except for that one bad blue.
Yeah.
But
They haven't done a bad job at all.
I always praise them anyway, mate.
Yeah, I think they do a good job.
Even if they're doing a lousy job, there's no point. Right?
Nah.
On air.
Yeah.
That's all right, they criticise us too. No
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
That's fine. They're just the main ones. Cool.
You'd think they'd bring him up the ground if he's that good a player.
Everyone outside the fence, please. Behind the goals, those children near the goals, outside the fence, please. Everyone outside the fence, please. People behind the goals, particularly outside the fence,
Be
please.
quiet.
Just got to realise that people, it's going to take time to get the ground cleared. You just sort of can't.
Panic.
Nah.
They're not going to listen anyway.
Nah, of course they're not. West Coast Eagles up by 4 goals.
Yeah. They won't last though.
No.
Though I did pick them.
Did you? You picked the West
I
Coast
picked them.
Eagles. I think it was played at Subiaco.
And underway in the second quarter, Craig McAllister bouncing the ball. And of course a big first quarter by the Cats, seeing them lead by the margin of 4 goals 3, 27 points. Half back line now for Hamilton. They're going to be under attack this quarter. Going now to the left of screen, the Casterton Cats in the blue and white hoops. And the Magpies in the famous Collingwood colours. Hamilton going to the right of screen in this quarter.
Billy Picken still at centre half back, Jim, and Noel Black still at centre half forward, so they've stuck with those 2 changes.
Well, I reckon Picken's going to be in the action, David. That's
Yes,
why he's probably down there, and that's an ominous sign. Number 16 is Kerr. Andrew Kerr kicking on left foot for Casterton on the 50-metre line. Alan Smith on the lead, comes loose. Chance to tidy up this time. Good body work by Smith. He wanted the football desperately. Breaks the tackle. Kicks in short, a bad bounce. Here's a chance for Casterton. Open goal for Gavin Johnson. Couldn't miss from there, and he doesn't. Big start for the Cats, start of the second quarter.
Well, he can put that goal down to Alan Smith's work there. 3 men tried to hang on to him there, Jim, and he just broke clear with pure strength. Got the football to boot, and Casterton had 2 blokes back there on their own. Great work, Alan Smith, and well capped off by Gavin Johnson. He's
had 6 kicks already, Smith. He's got 1 goal to his name, and that time he was instrumental in Gavin Johnson, number 28 on screen, bringing up his first for the afternoon. And really, I think, David, that was the one Hamilton wanted.
That's the one, Jim. I think if they had got the first one, it might have been right, but by gee, could be the floodgates, could be well and truly open now.
2-1-13, 7 goals for 46. Allen and Carroll and Young goes to ground. Here's a chance for Stevens. Gee, hasn't played well today. The pressure's on out there. Number 14 getting off as Lollet.
I think Groves is still picking up Lithgow in and around the centre of the ground. He's going everywhere that Lithgow's going, and I can't understand why Hamilton got someone like of his ability tagging Lithgow.
And very defensive mode already. The Hamilton Magpies, they trail by 33 points. And they've got the work to do. Massive crowd at Blue Lake Sports Park. I think the biggest we've had for many years in the Western Border. Trevor Russell running down towards the half-forward line. The loose ball running out in defence, though. It is all the Casterton back there, and they're doing well through Chris Molloy. Good defensive stuff as they go to the boundary line. No panics on. Here's Silsby. Grab without the ball. Yes, says the umpire. And Craig McAllister right on the scene. Our chance for Mick Silsby, who kicked 6 last week in the preliminary final. 6 big goals.
Just the type of goals Michael Silsby likes to kick too, Jim. I've seen him kick many a goal out here at Mt.Gambier from this position. I wouldn't be surprised if he put this one through.
Silsby, nominated by David Case. Big screw punt will go just about all the way. Guthrie tried to get there, but got there late. An important kick from Mickey Silsby. He brings up his first goal of the afternoon and won. The Hamilton Magpies really did one. And we'll cross down to the boundary line now to catch up with Colin Murdoch. Colin, what did the coaches say at quarter time?
Sorry. Both coaches spoke quietly at half-time. At quarter-time, then Carroll was most upset with his first 10 minutes of the Cats game. He wanted them to improve in the next quarter.
Back at the centre bounce, Carroll and Young go again. Out of the centre comes Foran. Can they get a run on now to Magpies? They got the answering goal to start this second term, but they still trail. The margin is still 27 points, and free kick will go the way of Nigel Allen. David Nolte, in fact. Nolte towards half-forward. Picken's there for Hamilton. Pushed in the back that time, but the play goes on. Gee, they're hard on Billy this afternoon.
Yes, he's getting nothing at this stage, Jim.
Dempsey. Loose man on here. Dempsey should get the ball over. Now he does. Running player will be Gill. He'll kick from well outside 50 as closing on him. That time was Kerr.
Downfield, Jim.
And will be paid. Terry Walters didn't miss it. Very crude tackle by Andrew Kerr.
Very good decision by Terry. Has got great awareness as an umpire there and picked that up very good. Crude tackle there, Jim, unnecessarily.
Craig McAllister coming in, and this young man, Batters. Paul Batters can certainly kick a goal. Just asked East Gambier. Well, wobbles off the boot, but he might have made it. Batters has put it through. It didn't look good off the boot, but it carried just enough from the youngster. And Paul Batters puts through his first goal of the afternoon, and let's hope a fight back for the Magpies. They've kicked 2-1 in this the second quarter. They started well on the first and faded. Casterton got the first this quarter. Now Hamilton fighting back, go to 4-1-25, 7-4-46.
The last 2 centre bounces too, Jim. Andrew Young's got his hand on the ball both times and given Hamilton first use of the ball. So this will be a very important centre bounce here. Obviously Young's lifted himself a little bit for the start of this quarter. Here we go. Down goes the ball. Up goes Young and Carroll. Tapped away by Carroll down towards... It comes out to Foran there, gets the ball away. Lithgow's in there for Casterton. Comes out wide here. Lithgow still fighting for the ball. Good tackle on the ball. Comes across here. Hamilton got the loose player on here. Didn't use Gill at all. Salisbury. Good punch away by Salisbury. Gets his hand back on the ball now. Comes out to Allen. Cross to Brian McKenzie. McKenzie runs the ball out of defence. Comes down. Free kick downfield for number 17. And Wayne Hazel give away a stupid free kick there. And Casterton will take the kick through Williamson here at half forward.
Timmy Williamson, David, coming up for his 8th kick. He's already had 4 marks. Beautiful left foot kick, Williamson, but getting in front and must be paid the free kick. Advantage played. Off comes Craig Hards. Hards is running well. Almost into double figures himself with kicks. Hards on the left foot back towards the centre of the ground. Glenn Carroll running for the football. In goes Dempsey. Good solid shoulder bump that time by number 8 was Craig Kelly. Inside they go again. Loose man, Hazel for Hamilton. Now can they get a run on? Goes around one, hand pass to Russell. He's a deadly kick. Put out in front of Block. He should eat this, Paul Block, and he does.
Good play by Hamilton. Very good play. The use of the ball was excellent.
And Paul Block, former captain coach of this side. And I'd nominate this, David. I reckon Paul Block will put this through and take the margin back to 15 points. Paul Block.
Good kick off the boot.
Kiss
once again, Guthrie.
Good mark to Guthrie, and Guthrie's taken 4 marks already. That'll be number 5 for Guthrie. Good hip and shoulder bump, but the mark will be paid, I think, that time to Nigel Allen. The bump was by Gill. Elusive half forward decides to sell the dummy and go around. Good play that time by Allen. Back towards the wing. Big leap, Williamson.
Yes, per mark.
Great grab by Williamson. Mark number 6 to Timmy Williamson.
Hamilton getting beaten both key positions at this stage, Jim. Centre half forward and centre half back.
Tony Lithgow, the big grab. Lithgow coming in for kick number 7. So the stars are shining already for the Cats. Big kick by Lithgow. Big grab by Johnson. And it's the smalls and the talls at the moment. But Hamilton still with a chance. They trail 4-1, 7-4, but an important kick for Casterton by Gavin Johnson. They've got confidence in each other, David, too. They know where they're going to lead.
And they've got more than one option too, Jim. There's 2 or 3 options all the time. You've got Williamson, you've got Johnson, you've got Smith down there, and you've got players like Lithgow that can chip in and still take a good mark.
Got very close to the man on the mark. That'll be a free kick, surely. No, he's paid the mark to Timmy Williamson. Well, Terry Walters, you're a lot closer than we were. Andrew Young pushed fair and square in the back.
The ball was nowhere within 5 metres there. Obviously, Terry got caught on the blind side, but a very obvious free kick. But Williamson lines up for goal here. On his left foot, on his correct kicking side, kicks for goal. But it's offline and through for 1 point.
That was mark number 7 for Tim Williamson. Kick number 9 for the champ. And certainly he won't get many easier than that. But Andrew Young, well, I guess some consolation he didn't kick the goal.
Should have kicked that, Jim. Should have kicked that quite easily there, Williamson.
Bench back into play, comes grandstand side. Kerr in front, big lead Picken, doesn't take it, comes to ground. Good work by Hards. There's Williamson again. Back to Hards, good play by the youngster, bustling Billy. On the right foot, back to centre wing, and Gill will mark for Hamilton. They're looking a little better, the Maggies. Hazel fumbles, pressure fumble. The turnovers are costly. Goes to Allen on to Foran. Foran sweeping hand pass, good play. David Nolte with space. He'll kick it in short. The ball drops short on Kerr. Coming in hard on him in defence that time for Hamilton was Dean Hazel. And the free kick will go to Hamilton. And they're hot on holding the ball, David, at all levels.
Yes, they're right on it now, Jim. Any player that lays over the ball, they're just going to penalise them. That's fair enough.
Big leap that time, number 8 for
Mickey McArlein, Jim. Got high up in the air there above the pack, but couldn't take the mark.
Big grab, didn't fall. And Billy Picken shaping up that time. But it's all in the game, says Billy. Number 10 is Nigel Allen. Not a really weight for age contest, that one. Kick in short to Gill. Gill on the centre wing, sells the dummy to Carroll. And a heavy bump on him by number 4, David Nolte. And that'll go down ground. A little bit of ill discipline now from the Cats, David.
The last 2 incidents now, Jim, they're showing uncharacteristic for the Casterton players, and it's not going to get them anywhere by carrying on like that. They've got to play the game.
Russell goes for the pass, lead from batters. He's well outread by Guthrie. What a good defensive player. David Case has nominated his form already in the finals, and Guthrie takes a good mark. Mark number 6.
Very strong and mobile. Great mark by Albie there.
Shoots it wide. Away they go around that outer side. The Cats now running for the ball out there. Here's Darren Carlin. Besieged by defenders. Dempsey coming into a lend support for Hamilton. Free kick picked out that time by Craig McAllister.
Didn't have possession of the ball, Jim. The ball was still loose when he was tagged.
And the young defender will take it from between half-back and wing. Carlin up over the wing. Carroll in front. Dempsey gave him the nudge from behind. Taken away that time for Casterton. Given in board, good play. This is Williamson again, the receiver. Runs to the 50-metre line and a long bomb on the left foot. Sitting underneath the ball that time, McArlein. Yes. But the ball will go offline to the left. 4-1 behind. Beautiful raking left foot kick.
Outside 50 metres there, Jim, and was just very unlucky to be offline. Great kick by Williamson and well shepherded off by Mickey McArlein there. I notice now they've made an interchange, Hamilton.
And we'll cross down to Colin Murdoch, the interchange, Colin.
Paul Batters for Hamilton has just come off, and Greg Woods has gone on for his first run in the game.
And Tony Lithgow taking the screamer on the fly for the Cats. He kicks well inside 50. Johnson in front, good spoil, comes to ground, chance this time for Nolte. Nolte hooking on the right foot, Rovers goal, David.
Yes, great reading of the ball there by David Nolte. Good punch away by Johnson too, just disciplined play, got the ball to the front of the pack. Nolte read it beautifully offhand, kicked a nice goal.
Brings up his first for the afternoon and Casterton's 8th. Hamilton 4-1-25, the Mighty Cats. Casterton looking good in the premiership chase for 1990.
Need the next one out of the centre now, Jim. If Hamilton are going to make a contest of this now, they've got to get the ball away from here.
The starting 4 have been crucial for both teams. Who'll get it out? David Case.
Craig McAllister comes in now to put the ball down and get the play back into to get the play going again. Players have settled around. Carroll and Young still at it. Picken's in on the ball now, so anything could happen here at this next centre bounce. Picken and Carroll, 2 captain coaches. Up there they go. Picken gets his body over the ball. Carroll's in over it. A pack develops and players fall in all over the ball. Terry Walters will come in to bounce it.
Bit of pushing and shoving, David. Tony Lithgow's fired up today.
Yes, both captain coach had a bit to say there, I'd say, Jim. Bit of show of leadership. Once again, Terry Walters puts the ball down. Carroll and Picken at it again. Carroll gets a hit away, comes down to Hamilton, the ball runs loose. Free kick to the way of young Carlin, who's got the ball now. Gets the ball in the centre of the ground, kicks it down long here over half forward, looking for Smith. Smith gets in front, gets one hand on the ball. Ball comes to the ground, Hamilton run it out through Groves. Comes down towards the ball now here. Hazel still playing on top of the ball, dragged off it here. Once again, players going in very heavily here at the ball. And Alan Smith throwing him left, right and centre out here.
And it's on, as we'll keep the camera on that one, because the action's really hotting up here. Alan Smith was the player who was the initial perpetrator. He copped a couple for his corner. Hamilton certainly not afraid to back up. And under those circumstances, if ever it is warranted, I doubt it ever is, but perhaps then, because they were defending each other, into the goal square goes Lithgow while this is happening. And Tony Lithgow kicks a vital goal to bring up goal number 2 for him and goal number 9 for the Cats after the melee back on the 50-metre line for the Casterton side. They got the loose ball, an important goal. But in one sense, David, good to see Hamilton have a go.
Yes, they weren't frightened, they weren't put off by it at all. And it was very good umpiring there, Jim, because they let the ball go. The ball was nowhere near where the melee was, and Casterton broke away from the melee very quickly and capitalised on the goal.
Well, Bench is not afraid to stand close. There's Tony Lithgow. He kicked that goal. What a vital one it was. And back in the goal square, Alan Smith and Gavin Bench. And there they are, the two principals in that contest. Not a lot of love lost, but Alan Smith has got eyes for the football on most occasions. But Gavin Bench won't be found wanting should things get hotter.
Here we go, Terry Wild with the ball down. Once again, the two captain coaches, Picken and Carroll. Great bounce by Terry, both players straight in at it. Picken got his hands on the ball, gets a quick kick out of the centre of the ground. Comes down towards full forward here. Guthrie once again leads in the race of the ball. Gets the handball out wide. Salisbury onto the ball, into an open goal, and a great kick by Michael Salisbury. The ever opportunist. 2 goals in this quarter to Salisbury now, and he certainly gave him Hamilton a lift across that half-forward line.
Well, we nominated how important it was to get the football out of the centre by the starting fours. There we saw bustling Billy take it on himself, the captain coach of the Magpies. Did the hard work, got ball to boot. The loose ball came down, and the opportunist goal for Mick Salisbury, and he slammed it through to bring up the 5th for the Magpies, his personal second to be leading goal kicker for them, and a bit of a comeback again. Well, they can't quite shake them off, Dave.
No, Jim, and I was just thinking here a minute ago that how many times this year have we seen Billy Picken go into the centre of the ground when the chips were down, and every time he seems to give them a bit of a lift, and he's done just that at the last 2 centre bounces. He's now really jumping into Carroll now.
Hamilton 5-1-31, Casterton 9-6-60 at the Blue Lake Sports Park, and the replay today being brought to you by Savings and Loan. Picken and Carroll in close. Lithgow through the traffic. Up and under, Williamson gets the tap on. Well read Foran over the top looking for Johnson. The intercept was almost on Johnson. Loose man in there for was the McArlein. He'll finally come on top of the ball. Good work, Groves to tidy up. Kicked away that time by Andrew Howes. Underneath the ball, coming at it hard. That time was Noel Black. He's had a rotten day, Black, so far. I won't say Black's had a black day, David. Comes in short, Carroll.
Great mobility for a big man. Kicks it out wide out here towards Lithgow, making space again. Gets around now onto his left foot. Kicked in towards centre half forward here, but here's Howes. Comes out with the ball now onto his left foot. Nice raking kick out towards the centre wing position here. Noel Black in there contesting the ball, but it comes free to Casterton. In towards centre half forward. Williamson overruns it. Comes down to player number 14, David Lowlat. Kicks it in towards the centre of the ground, and here's the captain coach, Billy Picken. Gets the ball now. Runs across centre here. Gets it out wide, looking for a play here on his own, and Dempsey and takes a fine mark on the run. Dempsey now. Kicks across towards the centre. Here's that man, Salisbury again. Maybe a bit too far, just inside of 50 metres here, Jim.
He'll kick from probably outside 50, David, but a better forward move that time by the Magpies. They're trailing by 4-5, 29 points. They need to be closer than that at half-time.
Their forward line now starting to make space, Jim, and starting to give them something to kick to.
Well, Salisbury chancing his arm here, or chancing the boot, because he's going to go for the long bomb. He'll kick from outside 50. The big screw punt on its way. It will drop short. Tall timber wanted. Whistle goes. Free kick will go to way of the Cats. Terry Walters right on the scene. No advantage paid. The ball will come back, in fact, and be taken by McKenzie. The big defender, Brian McKenzie, for the Cats. And a lot of little incidents off play. A bit of spite creeping in now as Glenn Carroll takes the mark. Dempsey.
Players still trying to show their authority, perhaps, Jim, just letting one other know that just how much they're going to go. And there's a free kick here on play to Guthrie. Was pushed out, quite undisciplined by the Hamilton player then. Guthrie's got the ball in the half back line. Kicks the ball in the man, smothered off the boot by Salisbury. Good tackle by Salisbury. The ball comes loose again. Fights for the ball here on the ground. Comes out to Dempsey. Neale Shannon in there for Casterton. Glenn Carroll comes out here again to Salisbury. He's on the run now, just inside. Nice kick by Salisbury off the boot, but unfortunately offline and through for 1 point.
Well, a big screw punt. They wanted better than that, but at least they've got the ball in attack, and now the Casterton defence is under some sort of pressure. 5-2-32, 9-6-60, and we've played for almost 20 minutes in this, the second term.
Kick out by Brian McKenzie here. He'll no doubt try to go long, looking down the centre of the ground. Carroll makes the lead, takes Picken to the other side of the ground. McKenzie now goes that way. Beautiful kick by McKenzie down to the centre of the ground. But there's Trevor Russell under the ball and takes a good mark. Turns and gets a handball across to Picken. Picken, a beautiful chip pass in here and a great mark by Andrew Gill just inside. Maybe 40-45 metres out from goal.
Well, this is the one they want, the Hamilton side, to bring them back in touch. They trail by 28 points. And they need to be, I reckon, within 2 goals at half-time. A chance now for Gill. Andrew Gill, the elusive Gill, has already got one. Beautiful kick off the boot. And it will make the distance just, I think. Goal umpire likes it. I think that's a score. No, it's not. Play on. Kicked across goal. Kerr will tidy up for Casterton. Interesting result down there.
Well, Jim, all the players stopped and the Casterton players seized the opportunity to get the ball. Here's Trevor Russell now.
Picken on his own in the centre. Will Russell go for Picken? He will, and bustling Billy takes the mark. Will he play on? No, he'll feed the ball off. Running out of the fence now. It's Young for Hamilton. Long ball into the pocket. Dempsey's got the set, and the Magpies looking a lot better.
I just tend to think now, Jim, that Casterton might have to do something here with Carroll. He's obviously getting tired. He's rucked for one in the best part of this quarter. If they don't soon get him off the ball and give him a spell, I feel as though Picken's going to run him around too much. Interesting duels, the man-to-man matchups. Fascinating as Dempsey on the left foot kicks. A delightful kick off the boot by Dempsey. It'll fade just left and through for one behind. So the Maggies fighting back. 5-3-33. Casterton a 9-goal, 660. The next goal's important. Hamilton, you can't afford to let Casterton get it. A kick in by Brian McKenzie now, straight down the middle of the ground. Beautiful drop punt kick, looking for his captain coach in Glenn Carroll. Good mark, Picken. 2 attempts, and on the second chance, gets the ball wide now out here towards Kerr, towards Gill. Gill gets around 3 players on his left boot. Beautiful kick into the open space. Paul Block comes out, ball on the ground. Neale Shannon gets it away. Comes out here to Michael Murphy of Casterton. Plays on advantage play. Murphy streaming through the centre of the ground now. Goes over the top of Alan Smith's head. Great defensive work there by Gavin Benson. Gets the ball away. Comes out here now towards Hazel. He gets the ball now out towards the centre wing here towards where Russell's in the van. Comes out to Michael Murphy now. Murphy back on his left boot. Kicks in towards centre half forward. And here's number 9 for Casterton in
Mickey McArlein it is, McArlein. David.
It's been a dangerous player up forward today, McArlein.
And the Cats wanting the goal. I think it looked like getting the goal that the Magpies wanted. McArlein's going for the big bomb from well outside 50. Wobbles off the boot in front that time. Good defensive mark taken by Andrew Howes. Pole very well in the middle, Andrew Howes. David too,
yes,
very good player.
Job. Jules got the ball here now in the back pocket. Switches the ball across the ground here now. Looking for number 12 in Craig Hards, but the ball eludes him and goes out of bounds.
Well, I guess he'll be criticised for that one, Jill, but really he tried something different. They tried to switch the play, and at this stage they've got nothing to lose, the Magpies.
That's the way to go about it, Jim, to try and do something different and bring some sort of other form of pattern into the game. Alan Smith now drives the ball in. Good defensive work there by Groves, punching the ball away.
And Alan Smith's had a lot of work to do. He's had 7 kicks. That was his 7th kick. And the man really creating some havoc on the forward line.
Moving around. The throw in now. Umpire Andrew McDonald throws the ball in from the boundary line. Comes in. The players jostle for front positions. Comes over the back. Hamilton get position through Stevens. Nice kick in towards the centre of the ground. And here's Salisbury on his own again. Salisbury now looking for someone. Turns onto his left foot. Kicks the ball out here towards the flank. Hamilton got numbers at the ball here. Should be able to get the possession. Number 17 for Hamilton. Gets away from him now. Gets around the centre of the ground. Under his right foot. In towards, and there's Nigel Allen. He plays on. Good tackle by Dempsey. Puts him under pressure. And here's Malcolm Groves. He runs through the centre now. Just pushed off balance. Here's Casterton now. Gets the ball through number 27 there in Chris Molloy. Molloy runs around the outer side wing now and drives the ball deep into attack for Casterton. And there's that man again, Tony Lithgow. And I'd say it'll be 50 metres, Jim.
And it could be on again. A little bit of fisticuffs going on out there between Craig Kelly and someone who's not his very best friend this afternoon. Stacks on the middle. Might be Malcolm Groves under that. And it is 1 and all in there. Tag team wrestling at Blue Lake Sports Park. Gavin Johnson makes his presence felt as well. And they're coming from far and wide. Tony Lithgow had the football. You saw that on screen. And getting up a very angry Stephen Jewell for Hamilton. Tony Lithgow's going to use the 50 and will kick from about 10-second. Mark this one down. And there's a lot of spite out there as Tony Lithgow kicking for goal. Already got 2. Lithgow gets his 3rd. That's what really counts. And the Cats go to 10-6-66. Exactly double Hamilton's score, 5-3-33. Well, what would you do if you were Billy?
Well, I just think now, Jim, that they've got to settle down and go at the ball. An undisciplined free kick over there, then a bit of a melee came out of that. But I think now Billy's got to settle the boys down and just play the game.
Coming back to the centre. Waiting for the boundary umpires to bring it back. This is boundary umpire Brendan Parfrey giving the ball to Terry Walters. There's Glenn Carroll on screen. The ball to be bounced in the centre circle. Carroll, captain coach. Walters the umpire. Sets us underway. Good clean bounce. Picken goes hard at the body and wins it again from centre, but doesn't get his foot the ball. Stack on the mill. Groves is in there, number 33. Craig McAllister intervenes. He's the man in white, and he'll bounce the ball. About to enter time on in this, the second quarter. And the replay being brought to you by Savings and Loans. Kick comes out backwards. Went to Young, fortunately for the Magpies. Up and under kick. Gill got underneath it, couldn't mark. Well read that time by David Nolte. Good feed off to Shannon. Shannon along to half forward. Johnson's got the sit on this. Loose ball to ground. They've got numbers, but finally backed up well by Groves. Stephen Jewell was in there as well for Hamilton. And the free kick will go Hamilton's way. And Stephen Jewell will take that kick. Just as well he recovered very quickly because they had the numbers at the fall of the ball again, the Cats. And we're about to go goal, but in fact it could be a Casterton ball.
Yes, I think it's a Casterton free kick here, Jim.
Number 8, Noel Black for Hamilton, and number 8, Craig Kelly for Casterton. Black was moved from centre half back. He's down at centre half forward for the Maggies, and this is number 8, Craig Kelly.
Started on the bench, Jim, and has come onto the ground now and starting to show his presence a little bit.
Played in the VFA, so a lot of experience. Wobbly old kick though. In front, the bounce was hard that time. Coming to Hards, that player, he couldn't get a Craig Hards. Unlucky bounce for Hamilton. They had a chance that time, but didn't sit for them. And finally Stacks on the middle. And umpire Terry Walters coming in to get us underway again. Into time on now in the second term. The Cats lead pretty well, 33-point lead.
Umpire Walters now to put the ball down, right deep in the forward tack for Casterton here. Pickens back there, goes up for the ruck, it's knocked down towards the ground, picked up by Williamson on his right foot, and a quick snap at shot at goal that results in 1 point only.
Timmy Williamson well into double figures in the kicks, about 12 kicks for Timmy, and there might be another report going on out there.
And I think it's our man Alan Smith.
Alan Smith reported. I don't believe that, David. He's not that type of player, you told me.
No, I'm quite in disbelief. Terry Walters is holding the game up here. And the kick-off to be taken off by Hamilton. Comes out towards the grandstand side here. And a good mark taken by number 48 for Hamilton. Gavin Bench.
Off to Hards. Hards on the left foot inboard. Picken under the hammer. Good spoil. Lithgow comes to Foran. He's looking to go backwards. Gives it to Carroll. Carroll will chip away to Lithgow. And good team play. Laid on the scene and a 50-metre penalty.
Yeah, stupid play by
Craig
Hamilton.
Hards came in far too late. He's had a terrific game, the youngster too. But he's just given Tony Lithgow his 4th goal, I'd say, David.
And I'm just saying, just thinking a minute ago there, 2 50-metre penalties here late in this quarter have cost Hamilton dearly. Both undisciplined play and both on this man Lithgow. How good a player is he, Jim?
Well, fantastic player. Hamilton know that, but that's the wrong treatment. And Tony Lithgow will hurt them with this kick. And for a while there, the Maggies were back in this game. But the kick from Lithgow will make certain that they're in trouble now. And 4 goals to Tony Lithgow. And kick number 10 for the champ, as he puts through his 4th goal, and they go to 11-7 to 5-3, and Billy Picken's got some headaches now at half-time, David.
Not bad for a player, Jim, who supposedly have had the flu during the week. His efforts have been fantastic up to this stage of the game.
Well, there was some doubt about him taking his position on the field today. He's placed in the side, number 6 on screen, Tony Lithgow, but he seems to have recovered well, and he's playing with the flu just as well for Hamilton.
Here we are now at the 27-minute mark with umpire Craig McAllister about to put the ball down. Once again, Picken and Carroll at it. We'll see what happens in the centre bounce now. Very important for Hamilton to get this ball out of here now. Down goes the ball. Both ruckmen in. Picken eyes on the ball, gets it down towards Stevens. He can't take possession. The ball's in loose in the pack. Comes out here towards Molloy. He can't get it. 28 Johnstone, back to Carroll. Onto his right foot. Comes out towards where Kelly's in front position. Gets the ball towards the ground. Alan Smith over the top but couldn't get hold of it. Comes out here and it runs wide towards the centre wing and will go over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Throw-in to take place on that outer side. Umpire Brendan Parfrey to bring it back. The men in white doing a great job. 5-3-11-7. Big jump by Johnstone. Comes to ground. Away they go again through Murphy on the right foot, and another 50-metre penalty, David.
I can't believe it, Jim, and they're so soft too. You know, like they're all there. The umpires are doing a great job, but the ball's relayed down the ground every time, and it's really starting to hurt Hamilton now. Totally undisciplined.
And Stephen Jewell, I think, was the offender that time. And the kick will be taken by Mick McArlein. Solid man. The kick from a fair way out. It'll be a top kick to get it from there. Gives it plenty of air. It's on its way. Fading, I think, to the right. Crowd pretty quiet behind the goal, and that's through for one behind. 11-8-74, fine 3-33, the Cats lead. And there you saw it on behind play again. Craig Hards. Not endearing himself is our Craig to many of the Casterton players. Mick McArlein telling him so that time.
Andrew Hales kicks straight down the centre of the ground. Straight down towards, and a good attempt from Mark by Hamilton player. Michael Murphy in there, but holds the ball to the ground, and it'll be taken bounce. Good attempt by Gavin Bench. Got his hands on the ball, but just couldn't quite bring the ball to ground. Umpire McAllister wanders over to picks up the ball and comes back in now. Carroll drops back across the half-back line. And you'll see Timmy Williamson take the ruck duels here. Johnson it is. Johnson and Picken go at it. The ball comes loose once again. Quick kick by Groves, straight back, and there's that man Carroll. Drop back across the half-back line. Comes out wide towards the grandstand side here, and number 17 for Casterton.
And another 50-metre penalty, David.
And another 50-metre penalty.
Andrew Young, that time, the offender on Chris Foran, and they really don't want to win this game. And Billy Picken, well, I don't know how much hair Billy's got left after this quarter. The tinge of greys there.
He's standing in the middle of the ground, absolutely devastated. Jim can't believe what he's seen.
Another 50-metre penalty, that time on Andrew Young, the ruckman, and Chris Foran. Well, he's going to kick from about 20 metres, but it's almost another gimme. If you were putting it, you wouldn't bother. Chris Foran, a very important goal because he could just about put the nail in the coffin of the Magpies. Looks good off the boot from there. Big goal to Chris Foran, and that's his first this afternoon, and it happens to be Casterton's 12th goal. 12-8-80, 5-3-33.
The last three free kicks, Jim. 50-metre penalties and three taken Casterton right to the goal screen. They've kicked 3 goals straight away. So once again, we can't harp on it too much, but I think Hamilton have now got to get back to playing the football.
Great performance by the Casterton Cats. Haven't won a premiership since 1969, but they're really purring this afternoon, and this is the first half at the Blue Lake Sports Park. Terry Walters, that's Billy Picken. He's tried to lift his side, no fault of his. Stevens needs a big lift. Picken to do it on his own, gets a quick kick. Chance for Dempsey, besieged that time by Brooker. And it's on again behind play. Bustling Billy's in this. Slips one in the Glen Carroll. And Billy's not happy. Comes out to Groves. Groves should kick long from there. He doesn't. It goes wide into the left pocket. Paul Block, if he can keep his feet, will find space. Hook it back on the right foot. Dempsey the lead. Comes short. Good tidy up that time. Hand pass back to Guthrie. And they've got plenty of time and plenty of confidence back there as Tony Lithgow runs the ball out of the fence. Quick kick goes to Gill, however, of Hamilton. And inside the 50-metre line, Andrew Gill. A chance, a belated attempt in this late in the second quarter for the Hamilton Magpies.
We need to kick this one, Jim, to put him in. Nice kick off the boot by Gill. Goes straight through the centre. Great kick by Gill. At least 45 metres in there, up there, and a lovely kick off the boot.
Well, they looked pretty good running it out of the fence that time, Casterton. They didn't panic. Unfortunately, Lithgow's kick was ill-directed, and given a chance, Andrew Gill gets his second goal for the afternoon, and a little bit of interest in the game still, because 6-3-39 now Hamilton, 12-8-80 are the Casterton Cats, and it was a beautiful kick. Terry Walters with the action now. We've played well into time on. We've played almost 6 minutes of time on in this, the second quarter, in the 1990 Western Border League Grand Final. Bounce favours Picken. Chance for Hazel. Running player Carroll went for the big fist. Loose to Murphy. Comes back inside. Hand pass looking for, but not finding a teammate. Young was in there for Hamilton. Stevens that time for the Magpies as well. Billy Picken under it. He can't get his fist to the ball, Billy. And Craig McAllister decides to bounce. Picken trying hard for his side. Carroll gets a beautiful palm. Comes down that time. Kelly, hand passed off to Lithgow. Lithgow high. McArlein, hard against him that time was Dean Hazel. Murphy, sweeping hand past Johnson. It's a procession at the moment. Long kick from Gavin. Johnson will just miss to the right.
Casterton doing all the attacking at this stage, Jim. They're really running the ball very, very well at this stage, putting a lot of pressure on Hamilton. Hamilton will now need to get this ball and clear it away. Perhaps go into a half-time break and have a really good think about what they're going to do perhaps in the next quarter.
Big kick in. Big kick in by Bench. Big kick. Underneath the ball. That time Murphy, the big grab, and Michael Murphy, the Irishman, has pulled one down to delight of the Casterton fans at the Blue Lake Sports Park.
Great mark for a 17-year-old lad. Certainly showed some great skill there.
And a big leap from Johnson, almost a one-hander. It's an exhibition at the moment. Kick by Kelly is not going to count, I think.
Oh, he's counted at one point.
But it is a behind. It definitely was after the siren, but the umpire picking it up a little bit late. And at half-time at Blue Lake Sports Park, Hamilton go the 6-3, it's 39. Casterton 12 goals, 10, 82. Ooh. Thanks for telling everyone. And umpire Terry Walters about to get us underway for the start of the second half at Blue Lake Sports Park. 6-3-39, the Magpies, the Cats, good lead, 12-10-82. And Picken and Carroll at that first ruck bounce. Williamson, who had a terrific first half, comes to ground, picked up and cleared away by Andrew Howes. Direction this time of Nigel Allen. Nolte it was, long kick forward, Smith on the lead. Alan Smith, big first half as well. The ball comes loose, a chance for the Cats. Howes is back there again, good defence. Wild kick though, sitting underneath it for Casterton. And about to drive them back into attack. It looks like Chris Molloy. Long way from the back line, the youngster. Right foot kick into the goal square. Hamilton need to defend desperately in the opening stages of this second half. Here's Alan Smith, breaks one tackle, can't get foot to ball. Stacks on the mill and umpire Craig McAllister will come in for a bounce. Well, David Case, what do they have to do in the second half, the Maggies?
Well, I just think they've got to pick their discipline up a little bit, Jim. Towards the end of the second quarter, they sort of lost track of what they were doing a bit and gave away some stupid 50-metre penalties. So if you can cut that out, they'll be okay.
Big leap, Williamson. Gee, they've got some big men on that forward line. The ball comes loose again. Good attack on the footy by the Cats, taken that time by Kerr. Hooking round on the right foot underneath the ball. Williamson again. In fact, that was Kelly, comes to ground. Here's Murphy, Michael Murphy, the youngster. Picken goes in hard, tidied up for Hamilton out of the fence. Wild kick comes back, and the mark to be taken again by Andrew Kerr.
Kerr goes across now.
Forward.
Yes, good kick by Kerr towards the centre. There comes out towards Hamilton. Good tackle on Paul Block, who's up the ground now. Neale Shannon's got the ball just backward of centre.
Interesting move, David. Block onto the ball, I think.
I presume that's what's happened.
In short that time, and the Cats starting the way they finished. And this is Alan Smith, who's already got for the side. Well, he's got one goal, but he figured prominently on a number of occasions in that first half. Not altogether legal, some of it too, and I believe Alan Smith has been reported twice for a couple of skirmishes. Kicks on the right foot, won't quite make the distance. Who's the big leaper? Gavin Johnson takes the mark for the Casterton Cats. They lead comfortably at this stage, 6 goals, 7 the margin. That's 43 points, and that can be extended at the opening moments of this, the third quarter, by Gavin Johnson. Johnson has one goal already.
Been a bit quiet up to this stage, Jim, so I would say the Cats will be looking for a bit of a lift from Johnson if they possibly can.
And that's bad news for Hamilton if he does. He kicks wildly and will kick right across the face of goal, Gavin Johnson, so he doesn't add to his goal tally of 1. And the Cats bring up the first score of the second half. And we'll cross down to the boundary line to Colin Murdoch.
At the beginning of the second half, I think there are more Cat supporters in the crowd at the moment. They're making more noise than the Hamilton supporters. The Hamilton players and the bench seem to be preoccupied with the umpire and the umpiring standard. The umpires have certainly been involved in the game. There have been 4 reports to this stage, and reserve umpire Greg Diskel has been onto the ground 5 times already to talk to players who are not concentrating on the ball. The Cats seem to be maintaining their level head and playing the ball very effectively. Back to you, Jim.
Thank you, Colin, and that's certainly what they have to do. But now the Maggies go forward. Kick from Black is going to miss to the right when they badly wanted the goal. And thanks to Colin Murdoch, who'll be reporting from the boundary in this the second half of the Western Border League Grand Final from the Blue Lake Sports Park, and being brought to you here on Channel 8 tonight by Savings and Loans. David Case with me in the commentary box, and David, they're looking pretty good, the Cats, for mine.
Yes, they're starting to move that ball again, Jim, and they've got very good skill level as they bring the ball out of defence now through Nigel Allen. Gets away on his left boot now in towards the centre of the ground. Here's a contest here now. Comes out towards Timmy Williamson onto his left boot now. Drives the ball deep into the forward line. Looking out here for Lithgow, and a beautiful mark by Lithgow. Sensational player. Got his body in front and had any eyes for the ball, and a very, very good mark. 7 marks to Tony Lithgow already in the game, David Case, and certainly that was a great performance by Williamson as well. He's had 13 kicks. Lithgow goes in short. Chance for Hamilton to tidy up, but they fight each other. This is Groves. He was in the action early on in the game, kicking wide and defensively to the safety of the boundary line, and the throw-in to be taken place between the wing and half-forward for the Casterton Cats, and it's Brendan Parfrey, the umpire, bringing it back in the boundary. There's number 8 on screen, Craig Kelly. He's had a big first half as well. Johnson, big palm, goes to ground. Chance for Kerr, good tackle, Picken. Caught holding the ball, and the captain coach, in fact, will get the free kick, and he battled very hard. Bustling Billy Picken. On the right foot, goes across ground, finds Hards. Craig Hards had a big first half as well. Out to Bench the running defender, kicks it wide. Gill's got space, good kick by Bench. Gill can't quite bring it in. On him, a good tackle by Nigel Allen, uses the body. Allen on the recovery. He's going to run out of help though. Bench is in trouble. And in fact, the free kick will go against Bench. That was great play out there, Nigel Allen, because he was outmanned. 1-on-3 there, and Nigel kept his eyes on the ball and kept attacking it, and it was a great tackle to pin his arm to his body and made him throw the ball. Allen kicks into the man on the mark, dives in again, the ball runs loose, comes out here. Hamilton player in possession of the ball now, will drive the ball into attack on the lead, and a great pass to Trevor Russell, who looks like he might be at full forward perhaps now, Jim. I would think so. If McKenzie's his opponent, McKenzie plays at full back for the Cats, so Trevor Russell from outside 50, a long bomb, goes to the square. Who's there? Black sets himself. So does Stephen Jewell. One-handed mark has not been paid, but a free kick will come out of it for Hamilton, and in fact it will go to way of Black, who's had a miserable day so far, of course, David, so a chance now to redeem himself a bit, and he comes up hobbling on what I think is a bad ankle. But Noel Black hasn't kicked a goal to date, named at centre-half forward, went down to the back line in the first half. They're under siege, the Magpies, and the kick will be taken for him by David Lollett, who's only had 5 kicks to date, the Rover, so they need to lift all round the ground, Dave. They can't afford to lose Black either, Jim. Looks like he's going to take the kick after all, but he's been playing in a key position at centre-half forward and really needs not to be injured at this stage. Noel Black, a chance to bring up his first, and the Hamilton Magpies 7th. They need it. They trail badly on the scoreboard. Black kicks, plenty of air. I think that's a goal. Noel Black brings up his first goal, and the first one of the second half for the Hamilton Magpies. Black kicks his first. 7 goals, 3-45 now the Maggies, trailing Casterton 12 goals, 11, 83. And for the first time in the game, Jim, now Casterton's brought Alan Smith onto the ball for his first run on the ball now, so obviously he's giving Lithgow a spell off the ball. And why not? Tony Lithgow just as dangerous in the pocket, David, as of course he is around the ground, and we've talked in the first half. There's Glenn Carroll on screen for you, the captain coach. He'd be revving the boys up at half-time, as Colin Murdoch said, trying to keep their feet on the ground and the job in front of them, because they haven't got this game won yet. Billy Picken on the ball now. Picken started at centre-half back, but Foran takes it away for the Cats. Kicks it very wide, sitting underneath the ball. McArlein, he had too much space that time, and a player of his quality, you can't afford to do that. Bench gave him the start, kicked in short, good play again, good vision, and Chris Foran following up down the ground. A chance now to bring up the Cats' first goal in this, the third quarter. Chris Foran got the first kick out of the centre and followed the ball down, run into an open space and was given the ball. So very good coverage by Foran then. He's a very, very good player and has been instrumental in Casterton being where they are at this stage.
38-point lead as he puts the ball on underway. It'll go across the face of goal and through for 1 point. So inaccurate early on. They go to 12-12-84 now, Casterton. The Magpies, Hamilton, 7-3-45. Maggies to bring it back into play. This is Bench. Gavin Bench, the full-back, goes straight down the middle. Looks for Black in front. Good spoil from behind. Shannon comes to ground. This is Stevens. In his way was Silsby. He had a bad day, Stevens too. The kick's a wobbly one. Sitting underneath at that time was Lithgow. Good spoil on him. Good play that time by Hamilton in defence. Comes loose. They've got numbers at the footy this time. Picked up by Chris Molloy, the youngster. Goes on the right foot towards half forward. Williamson's got his name on it but can't mark it, and landed very heavily. That Williamson, he's in a bit of pain. Writhing on the ground as they take it away that time through Malcolm. That was Dean Hazel for Hamilton. Underneath the ball, Brooker that time for Casterton. A few mistakes in the game now. It was a blistering first half. Dempsey, a sweeping handball, goes to Gill. Tackle on him that time by Allen. Gill gets the kick away and Russell will mark. And the interchange taking place for Hamilton. Number 17 coming on the ground, Wayne Hazel. And that's a significant move too. Russell went short and it didn't come off. Carroll. This is Nolte. Shannon. Murphy running the ball to catch. Breaks the tackle on Stevens too easily. Chipping short. Kelly. Williamson. Saw it coming and ducked out of the way. It was brave. Kicks on the left foot. That was Foran. Smith sits under it. Off hands that time. Good spoil Bench. And the ball will be thrown in deep in the forward pocket for the Cats. Their right forward pocket.
And I notice now that Woods is picking up and tagging Lithgow and paying plenty of attention to him. So we'll just see how good a player Tony is now. Boundary throw in. Casterton's forward pocket. Picken and Johnson to do ruck here. Up they go. The ball comes down. Williamson gets his hands on the ball. Ball comes loose. Williamson recovers the best. Onto his right foot. And a beautiful kick by Williamson. There's no doubt why he's been recruited by AFL Club North Melbourne. Every time he goes near the ball, he shows a touch of class and a fine goal there on his wrong foot.
Well, certainly a top player. Can go both sides. And as David said, certainly a player who is being looked at very seriously by the talent scouts in Melbourne. In fact, being picked up by the North Melbourne club. And a beautiful right foot goal. Timmy Williamson, who landed heavily. There he is on screen a moment ago after trying to take a big grab, recovering well. And that's been the story of the game so far in the 1990 grand final as the interchange took place then. Coming off number 8 for the Casterton Side is Craig Kelly. Coming on number 5, Ian Willerdort. Back in the centre, shot of Glenn Carroll. Craig McAllister putting the ball down. Picken and Carroll. Billy Picken's been tremendous today. He's fighting a losing battle at the moment, trying to lift his young Magpies. Ball coming loose. Underneath it, Foran, pushed in the back, not paid. Hazel, Black, this is Stevens. He'll kick long. Not accurately. Here's a chance for Guthrie, who's been a fine defender. He'll go to the boundary line with the ball. Hot in his tail that time, the youngster Batters, who really hasn't left his mark on the game yet either, David.
No, I think Batters has moved to full forward and Russell's playing out of the pocket, so they're playing a two-prong attack at this stage.
13-12, 7-3. The Maggies in trouble. Lollett, who's had a quiet game, comes loose. Here's Brooker. He overruns the football. Out to Carroll. A little bit of the sting gone out of it now. Long hand pass. Kelly inside. The kick's not good. Williamson gets possession for kick number 15. On the left foot, rakes it towards half forward. Running player Johnson didn't take control. Comes to ground. Chance in there that time. Number 8 was Craig Kelly again. It was Andrew Kerr who, in fact, got the ball down there. And a little bit a byplay off the play indeed by Tony Lithgow and Graham Woods. As there we have them. And intercepting that time was Andrew Kerr, just to help his mate out. But Lithgow and Woods providing the main entertainment. The ball kicked wide. Here's a chance for Silsby. Coming back. He's already kicked 2 goals. Dodges well. Gives the hand pass on. Good running play. Cross to Hazel. Hazel go left foot. In towards centre half forward. Lollett from behind, but over the back. Or from behind again was Batters. And we've just called him as not making a mark on the game. Well, the youngster's got a chance now to redeem himself.
A lot more mobility now in the Hamilton forward line. It looks much, much better with a two-prong attack. It's a nice goal by Scotty Batters there. Stuck in behind the pack and read the ball better and took a nice mark. So Hamilton are back in the game now. They're trailing Casterton, who are 13-12 to Hamilton 7-3.
A beautiful goal. That time takes, in fact, Hamilton to 8 goals 3. They needed that one, and on the scoreboard it doesn't look much of a contest, but there have been times in this game when the Magpies have taken it right up to the Cats, and certainly we hope you're going to enjoy the second half. There's plenty of game left in this, plenty of action left in this game, being brought to you by Savings and Loans here on Channel 8's replay of the 1990 Western Border League Grand Final. Picken and Carroll. Billy Picken has been lion-hearted. The big kick out of the centre by Groves. In front, Guthrie. Here's a chance that time for Nigel Allen. Plenty of pace and plenty of room on the big Blue Lake Sports Park ground. This is Foran. Chris Foran towards half forward, off hands. Tidy up Hards, he'll need to. Comes to him, tries to get the ball out the back that time, looking for Andrew Howes. And the fact the free kick will go the way of Dean Hazel it was, who had his body on the ball. He'll kick in short. Mick Silsby, he's trying to lift. A long way from the half forward line though is Mick.
Starting to move around now, Jim. Starting to play the possession game now. As Hamlin got the ball now, short kick in towards Stevens in the centre of the ground, takes a great mark under pressure from Carroll, and Stevens will go back and take his kick. Unloads the handball to Billy Picken, cross to Salisbury again. Salisbury now has a bounce, chips in short, out wide here looking for Gill. Gill's got the ball, swings around on his left boot, kicks in towards centre half forward here. Big contest here now, up they go, the big men fly, they both get ball comes to ground, but through bursts McKenzie, gets the ball out here towards Foran, who's been very prominent. Cross to Brooker. Brooker will now kick the ball long, goes up over half forward line. Up towards where Williamson's in there. Picken's in there as well. Out comes Hazel. Gets it crossed here towards Stevens. Stevens now balks his player onto his left boot. Kicks it deep in towards the forward line. And we have a mark here taken just outside the 50-metre mark. Short kick in towards Block, who was running free but can't get onto the ball. Comes across again. Great tackle on Foran. He gets the ball loose and the pack develops and the ball's hit free. Glenn Carroll, captain coach of Casterton, swings the ball wide to Brooker. Brooker now gets around Black. Kicks a short kick in here and Stevens once again. But here's Willerdort. Tidies up for Casterton. Gets a tap through. And the Hamilton player gets in there through Lollett. Cross to Black. Black with a nice short chip pass, and here's that man Salisbury.
Well, he found space, David, as you said, and that's one of the things. He's found space again by shooting the ball on to Dempsey. Will this be a 50-metre penalty? We saw 5 against the Magpies in the first half for similar things, David, and I think that was a touch inconsistent.
I think that could have been too, Jim. I think with the 3 50 metres before half-time, I think that quite warranted a 50-metre penalty. But the umpire didn't see so, and he's in the better position than what we are. Well,
Shane Dempsey now a chance to kick for goal. The boy from the South West District Football League, recruited. He's found Western Border League footy a little bit tougher. Kicking off the left foot, though. It's a nice-looking kick off the boot. And he's put it through for 1 point only when they badly wanted a goal. So 8-4-52 the Hamilton Magpies. The Casterton Cats 13-12-90. We played for 15 minutes in this, the third quarter of the 1990 Western Border League Grand Final. And we're watching it on Channel 8, courtesy of Savings and Loans. A big kick in from Brooker. Guthrie's got the sit, couldn't mark. Black, who's lifted in this second half. Good spoil that time on him by Molloy. In fact, it was McKenzie. Hand pass wide. Batters went in. Back to Black. 2-on-2 out there. McKenzie pushes it towards the boundary line. And at this stage, the Cats are happy to play that type of footy. Shot of the crowd on that outer side. Jam-packed at Blue Lake Sports Park. And I think a record gate coming up for the Western Border League, and they'll be delighted with that. Carroll and Black this time. Carroll wins it down. Movement out. Quick handball. Silsby goes in hard. He's having a big third quarter as well. Paul Block needs a lift. Few touches for him. Underneath it, Shannon. Roving the pack that time is Hards. Comes to no one. Picked up and tied it up for Hamilton, for Casterton. Finally, defensive Hamilton is strong. They work it forward to Hazel. He's besieged. Can't get a kick. And the body tackling out there and the body work from both teams has been exceptional. We know we're in a grand final.
Plenty of work in the packs there, Jim. A lot of players diving in, putting their bodies over the ball. Good stuff.
Quality football. Kicked away by, that time, Kerr. Groves tidies up for Hamilton. Sweeping hand pass to Picken. Picken fakes one. I don't think that made contact, Billy. We're not going to fall for that. Kicks in short. Hards is on the forward line. There's Guthrie. This is, in fact, Murphy. To ground it come. Chance for Block. Can't get the handball away. He's had a bad day, poor Block. And finally, Craig McAllister will intercept. And umpire McAllister will bounce between the centre square line and the 50-metre line here at the Blue Lake Sports Park, slightly in Hamilton's attacking zone. Carroll again. Black's opposed to him. Block takes possession. He's besieged. Good kick forward by Stevens was effective. Brooker comes hard at it. McKenzie's got a bit of room there. Tackle on him, though. Cleverly done. Ball bounces away. Fizz Lollett. He's been quiet, but a chance for a goal for the Rover. On the left foot, sprays that one way to the left. Just makes it in for a point.
Hamilton have opened up very well at this stage, Jim. They're really attacking the football now. They've got eyes only for the ball. They're running it very well. Just a pity now that they couldn't capitalise and perhaps kick some goals.
They can't quite shake them, in fact. And there's an incident behind play as number 37, Graham Woods, and Tony Lithgow. Well, we saw them wrestling at the beginning of the quarter. Tony Lithgow's on the ground and Graham Woods was standing. And the free kick's going to Lithgow. I didn't see a report. There have already been 5 in the game. And Tony Lithgow will take the kick. Now, I can't say that, in fact, Graham Woods was reported in that, but the picture told the story with Lithgow on the ground, Woods standing above him. Big kick, block goes in hard. This is Groves. Hand passed off nicely to Young. Young's tackled. Finally comes back, this time to Dean Hazel. The kick goes long to half forward. Dempsey's underneath the ball. Carroll's there. To ground. Carroll takes possession. Craig McAllister says he didn't have an opportunity to get rid of that. And I'll bounce the ball inside 50 for the Maggies, who trail by 37 points. The grand final, Western Border League for 1990. Glenn Carroll. Lithgow. No effects from that hard knock. Comes down this time to number 16, Andrew Kerr. Kicks in short. Lead from McArlein. Hand pass on to Willerdort. The kick forward. Under pressure, leading Smith, behind him bench. Good body work, Smith. Who's the loose player? Johnstone can have a long shot. He kicked from 45 metres. The ball of its kind could bounce through. It's not quite. It bounces to the left. It was never going to be a goal, although it hit the post. It was always going left from Gavin Johnson, but creative play from Alan Smith.
And great strength by Alan Smith. Watered the player off very fairly and got the ball down towards Johnson. Kick in by Howes here. Out towards the outer wing. Looking out there and the ball hit loose out here. Comes loose towards Gill. He gets the ball down now, looking down here towards centre half forward. There's a contest with Salisbury's underneath the ball. McKenzie comes through. Brilliantly done. Read the ball beautifully, but his kick has come undug. Paul Block's taken the mark on the centre of the ground and will relieve the pressure for Hamilton. Goes wide here to Dempsey. Dempsey's on his own and should take the mark and does so under pressure from Willerdort. Dempsey now looking for someone to give the ball to. Goes back now and will drive Hamilton deep into attack. Big screw punt kick by Dempsey right to the goal square. And I think it'll bounce loose, and it's a goal. A great kick by Dempsey from outside 50-metre mark, and that's really gives something that Hamilton want to lift from, and they look very good at this stage of the quarter, Jim.
Well, certainly there's been a change since the first half because Hamilton looked completely outclassed. That's the type of goal, a fraction of luck in it. It was good play by Dempsey, good defence, good work in the middle by Block from a loose kick from McKenzie, the defender for Casterton. Sometimes, David, a little bit of luck, a bouncing goal. It didn't bounce through for Casterton at the other end. That time it did for Billy Picken's boys. Maybe that's the turnaround they want.
Perhaps the turning point that we want. Here's the bounce down now by Terry Walters. A very important bounce. The bounce of the ball. Picken and Carroll at it again, the two captain coaches. Picken gets it over towards Lithgow. In goes Kerr. The players bottling. Block's got the ball, but it's held to him by Foran and there'll be a bounce.
Okay, down to Colin Murdoch now on the ground.
About long direct play, and that last goal by Shane Dempsey was a perfect example of getting the ball on quickly and kicking long.
Well,
thanks, Jim.
That's the word Colin's got from the Hamilton bench, and certainly it paid off on that time. Colin Murdoch, roving reporter, down on the ground for the grand final and keeping in tune with both benches. Can the Magpies fight back? Can the Cats hang on? No premiership for the Cats since 1969, and it's been 1981 since the Hamilton Magpies have tasted premiership victory in the Western Border League. Desperate lunges towards the boundary line. 13-13-91 the Cats, 9-5-59, and one senses that somehow the Magpies are not out of this contest yet. Free kick goes Hamilton's way against Gavin Johnson, and bustling Billy. The captain coach, Captain Courageous, kicks in short and finds Groves. Sweeping hand past it. This man Stevens, who kicks long. Dempsey's got space, and Brooker needs to tighten on Dempsey, David, as Dempsey goes through the centre. Left foot kick, lead from Batters is good. Great play by the Maggies, they're coming back.
Just looking there, Jim, the positional changes that Hamilton have made have been excellent. They've now got a forward line structure. They've got players running into gaps. The kicking of the ball's been to perfection. Pinpoint accuracy as Batters lines up. kicks a beautiful goal, and Hamilton bounced back now. I think Casterton looking a little bit rattled here at this stage and will need to tighten up a little bit in defence.
Well, interesting stuff. We said Batters hadn't left his mark on the game to now. Well, he's now kicked his third goal, his second in the third quarter. They go to 10-5, 65 the Maggies, 13-13, 91 the Cats, and will we see a comeback? Interestingly enough, David, I've questioned all year if they've got to fault Casterton. It might be their run, it might be their fitness. They are about to be tested. If they want the flag in 1990, they are now going to have to earn it.
Here we go, the centre bounce. Craig McAllister about to put the ball down. Picken and Carroll at it again. Bounces high, up they go. Carroll gets his hand on the ball, comes down to Nolte. A lovely kick, a quick kick out, and a fine mark here taken by Johnstone. He's out at centre half forward now. Comes out towards Mickey McArlein and takes a great mark under pressure.
In fact, McArlein was off, I reckon, then, David, but Terry Walters didn't call him.
McArlein drives the ball in deep in the direction of Alan Smith. Oh, and just about a great mark taken now. Hazel gets it away now. Comes out towards the Hamilton player on his left foot here. Comes down towards Stevens. Stevens has got the ball. Will lose the tackle. Nice right foot kick in towards the centre of the ground. And Billy Picken underneath it. Both players stood and watched it. Picken and Gill. But, Picken's got a high tackle and will get a free kick across the half-back line.
Well, he certainly makes sure he was noticed. That time, number 10, Nigel Allen, gave him a tap. But, Billy, you've got the free kick. I somehow think Billy will get up and deliver the ball with a hand pass quickly on. But Howes dropped it. That was bad play. Howes will get a free kick, and they were very lucky to get out of that one, Hamilton. Billy Picken, been a fantastic player for them. Howes drives a long screwball, go long, Colin Murdoch said, and that's what they did that time. Comes to Foran. He's been an important player. The kick's not good. Just a few chinks in the armour at the moment for the Cats. It goes towards the boundary line. In front out there is Lithgow, wearing him like a glove is Woods. In fact, still wearing him like a glove. And boundary umpire, Andrew McDonald, will put it back into play. Carroll and Black. Great contest. Foran again, getting some important touches under pressure. Number 4 is David Nolte. Hooks back on the left foot. It's Picken scores from behind. Paul block. Chance it comes running loose. Taken that time by Bench. Short pass, not taken. And Stevens will get the mark. He will pay that one. Greg Stevens with possession. He can kick long, this guy. No exception, covers 60 metres long towards the inside 50. Offhand Silsby, put down the glasses, the Maggies. And Silsby kicks a vital goal for them. Brings up his third, and they're back in business, David.
Well, the crowd are going wild down here in front of us here at the moment, Jim. I haven't heard so many Hamilton supporters come to the fore. But Hamilton now certainly getting the ball out of the centre. I think that the Casterton back line now become a bit confused. And Stevens has had 10 kicks in this quarter already, Jim. Amazing effort.
And that happens to be their 5th goal for the quarter. There are 6 at half time to 12. It's now 11 to 13. It's gone 5 to 1. Interchange has been made. Number 20 coming on for the Cats rather desperately is Mark West. Carroll and Pick and the Cats are in business. We've got a game in our hands at the Blue Lake Sports Park. That's what the patrons want to see. Free kick will go Casterton's way. Chris Foran, who's been a great player, will take it from the centre. 11-5, 13-13. 20 points the margin. Foran goes left foot. Williamson goes one-handed and pulls down a spectacular mark, and that's his 8th. He's already had 15 kicks. That was his 8th mark. No more important one than that as he kicks on left foot from behind McArlein. In front it should be paid, is not paid to Hamilton. Comes off hands that time, kick forward by Kerr, and it will go through for a behind. So a little bit of the sting gone from the Cats. They started so well, they were in charge for all day, but now the pressure's on. Umpire hadn't finished waving the flag, and the ball will have to go back. And that's one of my pet hates, David, I must share with you. I reckon if they do that, they should lose the ball. That'd stop them.
That would stop that sort of play, Jim. I agree totally with you there.
The fullback kicking off too early. Greg Stevens has had 10 kicks from the centre. Paul Block has lifted his game, being moved from full forward onto the ball for the Magpies, and they're back in business. Wobbly kick out, Billy Picken in front, scored from behind by West. Comes to ground, Timmy Williamson, yet another possession and another kick towards full forward. Sitting underneath it, Alan Smith is it, and Alan Smith has taken a very vital mark against Andrew Howes.
Showed great strength there, got his body in front, held his ground beautifully. Got his hands out in front of his face and has taken an excellent mark under great pressure from the Hamilton players.
Well, the hard thing for Casterton is Smith's not the best kick in the world, but he's only kicking from 25 now. Off the boot, fading right, but I think he's made it. And a bit of a breather for the Cats as Alan Smith gets his second after a very solid mark. There's not a lot Andrew Howes could have done then. He was certainly in the right place. It was just the extra body strength as Glenn Carroll congratulates Alan Smith and a couple of explanations with it.
It's great work. I see Carroll's gone off the ball now. Jim's obviously having a bit of a spell here. They've brought West in now to perhaps take some of the ruck duties away from him. Fresh player on the ground for the first time now, so we'll see what happens now at this centre bounce. Tim Williamson lifted with a beautiful mark. He's up by Terry Walters now, about to start play again here in the middle of the ground. Comes in to bounce the ball, Picken against West. Very interesting to see what happens here. The ball's bounced in the way of West. Taps the ball down here to Foran, who's had many possessions. Nice left foot kick out of the centre of the ground. Up in the way, great possession, great work there by Howes. Get the ball down towards the ground. Out comes Bence. Gavin Bence grabs the ball now. Kicks around the outer wing. Goes out there and over the line and be thrown in on the far side of the ground. Ball to be thrown in front of the huge crowd here at Blue Lake Sports Park. Up they go. In there was Lithgow. Got the ball down to the ground. Great tackle there. And the ball glunts loose here towards Casterton's favour. Comes out towards Allen. Allen's got the ball now. He turns around. Gets a handball crossed here towards Lithgow. Lithgow props it up in the way. And we've got Andrew Young, but a man in front there from Casterton. Nearly a good mark. Comes out here towards Hazel. Gets the ball now. Handball cross here towards Billy Picken. Picken cross to Stevens for yet another possession. Onto his right foot. Kicks the ball wide here. Looking for someone to take the mark. The ball runs loose. Trevor Russell's held not in possession, but the umpire didn't see it that way. Comes free towards Hamilton here, but Neale Guthrie's back there. Gets onto the ball now. Great Batters is in there. Comes out here now, and Casterton clear the ball away. Out towards Salisbury. Salisbury's now got the ball in control. Turns around now. Tries to balk his player. Puts the ball down. Gets across here towards Gill. Gill in the forward pocket now. Kicks the ball back in towards the square. And Guthrie spills where he should have taken. And Russell's got it now. Right foot snap for goal. And I think he's kicked it. 1 point only.
David, just missed. As soon as he left the boot of Trevor Russell then, who anticipated so well from behind, he hung his head to say, I've missed this in what was a vital chance. They go to 11-6 now, 72. The Casterton Cats are 14-98, but the game's alive at Blue Lake Sports Park. Salisbury in front from the kick-off to ground. Gilbert, they're outnumbered. That's good play in defence this time. Taken away by, I think it's Kerr again, the runner. He'll give it off. Good feet off, but too long, said Craig McAllister. And a bit optimistic that time. Hamilton to go back into attack. The big left foot kick from Hards. From behind that time, Batters has got the mark, and the youngster. He's already kicked 3, 2 in this quarter. And Paul Batters a chance to bring the Hamilton Magpies that little bit closer.
I think the reason now that he's getting the ball delivered a lot better now is because the pressure now up the ground from Casterton's dropped off a little bit, Jim.
And Batters' kick looks good off the boot. Paul Batters kicks his 4th goal. That's the 12th for the Magpies there, 6 for the quarter. Casterton have kicked 2 since half-time. The game's alive and well. 12-6, 14-14, and that's what the patrons at the Blue Lake Sports Park want to see. A capacity crowd in attendance, and players like Stevens have lifted now for Hamilton. In fact, Stevens looks to be on a wing now. He's on Murphy. The ball back in the centre. There's a shot of Paul Batters. His opponent, Guthrie, who's played well also. But the Maggies are lifting. Billy Picken's in ruck. Mark West is now against him. Terry Walters gets us back underway. Big punch from Picken. Hazel overran it. He puts his body back in. Good stuff there. And they tie the ball up. Attacking side of the centre circle for the Hamilton Magpies. And at 3/4 time at the Blue Lake Sports Park. Hamilton fighting back in the 1990 Grand Final. 12-6, 78. The Casterton Cats 14-14, 98. Yeah, right. We didn't throw to a break then either. I was waiting for the call. Okay. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Stopped it. Robin Reid, the man who's out and about. Okay. Here we go.
Last quarter, right?
We'll go down to Colin again, Robin, when you call me. Fairly early on if it's a chance. That could be interesting the first couple of minutes. Yeah. And Craig McAllister about to get us underway in what should be a thrilling final quarter of the 1990 Western Border League Grand Final, being brought to you by Savings and Loans. And immediately the Cats are into attack. They have a 19-point lead. The Magpies have fought back. It was a good effort out there by Kerr. He's caught. Umpire Terry Walters intervenes and says, no, it's no free kick. Craig Hard standing over him, but no free kick that time against Andrew Kerr. The margin, 19 points. The Maggies have fought back well in that third quarter. Coming loose this time to Nolte. David Nolte in all sorts of trouble. He's tackled. Too high the tackle by Andrew Gill, says Terry Walters. And lucky to escape with that one, David Nolte in front of the grandstand wing. The Cats going to the left of screen. Picken underneath the ball, can't mark it. Comes back, Hards goes in. He'll tidy up on the left foot for the Magpies, running out of defence. Kicks it wide, Bench. And Bench takes the mark under pressure from McArlein. Gavin Bench. The Maggies have been sensational. 6 goals to 2 in the third quarter to get back in the football match. But sitting under at that time out there is Murphy. And Murphy marks Matthew Murphy for the Cats. Leading by 19 points, inside 50. And a free kick. Terry Walters has picked one out. It'll go Casterton's way. And a free kick to Gavin Johnson. Big leap that time from Howes. And David Case, well, interesting game now.
Yes, this kick will have be a very important kick for Casterton. I think if Johnson can kick this, might be the little lift just that they need right at the start of this last quarter.
Gavin Johnson.
Very important now, this kick.
Already kicked one. He's well inside 50. Will kick from about 40. Man on the mark, 35 out. It'll drop short. Not a good kick. A tired kick, in fact. Goes towards Hazel. He can't gather for Hamilton. Bench puts the body in. Great tackle. Terry Walters says holding the ball. Bit of dramatics on that one, but Hamilton get the vital free kick in the back pocket and will relieve the pressure. Hard against the right point post.
Terry kept the crowd alive there, I think, Jim.
Good theatrics for umpire Walters, and both men in white done a terrific job. This man's lifted in the second half. It's blocked, but he's run down by Foran. Could be a vital mistake. Lithgow. That man Woods is wearing him like a glove. It comes back towards Nolte. He can't get away. The hand pass comes loose. Carroll goes to hands and knees. Finally comes back in the direction of Kerr. Gave the ball away. Good defence, Howes. Out direction of Shoddy Stevens. Greg Stevens, who had 10 kicks in that third quarter. A big lift from him. He's over the top of it. Surely no free kick that time. Yes, it is against Greg Stevens. Very hard, Terry Walters, but I guess to the rules. And Casterton can go back into attack, leading by 19 points.
Good work there by Casterton. Stevens, unfortunately, trying to hold the ball in, but got caught holding it underneath him. The ball kicked high towards Picken. He can't mark the ball. Comes out here towards Williamson. Onto his left foot. Kicks the ball high. Underneath it is Lithgow. Oh, beautifully done. And a 50-metre penalty here, I'd say.
He was hit very, very hard by Howes.
And a report on Howes too, Jim.
Howes is going to be reported. Tony Lithgow is down, and I believe that did make contact. There's no acting there. Already 5 reports in the game, and I think you can add another couple to that. Tony Lithgow down and maybe out. The champ's had a wonderful game. He's had a lot of attention from Woods. Woods was not the offender on that occasion. It was Andrew Howes, and Lithgow close to goal. It'll still be a Casterton kick. Lithgow's already kicked 4 goals. He's had 16 kicks for the match, Tony Lithgow. That was his 8th mark, and he really earned that one the hard way.
Stood his ground beautifully, Jim. Just stood there, read the ball very well and stood his ground and took what was coming to him. Courageous effort. It'd be nice to see him get up and kick a goal here.
Graham Woods, in fact, lost sight of the football. He was never in the contest. Andrew Howes came in hard on him, and Tony Lithgow's on his feet. There's a shot of Howes. He might miss the first couple of games next season. But a vital kick now coming up for the Cats. Still a bit of kerfuffle in the goal square. Lithgow's got the footy. That's all the Cats fans want. Mick McArlein might lose it for his side if he's not careful. Terry Walters telling him that. Lithgow kicks a goal. Number 5 for Tony Lithgow, a settler for the Casterton Cats. They go to 15-14, 104 to Hamilton. 12 goals, 79. The Maggies aren't out of this one yet, but a vital goal for the Cats, David.
Yes, a vital goal there, Jim. One that Hamilton didn't want them to get. This next centre bounce now will take its toll now. If Casterton get the ball out of the centre now here, they could open the floodgates and allow them in.
Tony Lithgow doesn't look well, attended to by the trainer. Graham Woods just explaining his version of things. And there's Billy Picken urging the troops on from the centre bounce. He's moved himself from centre half back to centre half forward into the ruck now. And for the last half has been a fabulous leader for the Maggies and instrumental in their fight back. Carroll and Picken. Carroll, Foran, what a game this guy's had. Kick number 14. Coming towards the grandstand side. In that time was Gill. Finally back to West. West off this time to Nigel Allen. Eludes one. Allen long. Underneath it, Bench from behind. A big attempt that time from Casterton. They got nowhere. Bench follows up. Good play that time by Nolte. Nolte can go short, but he decides to have a run instead. Inside 50 and closing. Hand pass to McArlein. McArlein over the top. Went towards Lithgow on his own in the square. Good smother Hamilton. They tie it up, at least for the moment. Lithgow would have walked into an open goal. Great defensive stuff by Graham Woods.
Excellent stuff there. Committed himself to the ball, threw his body over it and smothered it. Great bit of work. Greg McAllister to put the ball down now, deep in the forward line of Casterton. West contests the ball along with Bench. It comes down here to Mickey McArlein. Quick kick onto his right foot. Ball comes loose. Hit over for a point.
And it could be a goal, David.
It's
touched off the boot.
Off hands by Hamilton. Hit through for a point.
Wouldn't that have been a tragedy? Well, a fumble of hands and fingers. Timmy Williamson, I think, came in on it. A player who's had a significant effect on this game.
Interesting to see Salisbury down the back line there, Jim.
It might be on the ball, in fact, I think, David. We'll have to pick that one up. We'll cross down to Colin Murdoch very shortly to see what happened at the three-quarter time huddles. Here comes Matthew Murphy. On the right foot, Murphy blazes and misses right again, and a lot of points for the Cats. Just offline as we'll cross down to the bench now, and Colin Murdoch.
This torrid start to the fourth quarter matches what both coaches said at three-quarter time. Both coaches believe that their teams can win from here. There is no breeze down here on the ground at all to speak of, so there's no advantage. Carroll was talking about tactics all the time, where he wanted the position the ball for his players to run. Billy Picken was talking about needing runners, needing players at the fall of the ball and needing to support each other to the end and to believe in each other. Back to you, Jim.
Thank you, Colin. That's the report on the three-quarter time huddles. The last chance for the coaches to address their team as Casterton go forward again with numbers at the ball at the centre that time, and Alan Smith has possession. He's kicked 2 goals and a chance now from, I think, too far for Alan Smith, David.
Yes, I think he's too far out, Jim. Just noticing there too, Nigel Allen's had 2 or 3 very good possessions at the start of this quarter and has used the ball beautifully. Running through the centre of the ground on 3 occasions and delivering the ball out in front of the running forwards.
Andrew Gill, his opponent, just allowing him to get away. Big kick from Smith, will just drop short. Who are the big leapers? From behind, Johnson tried hard. It comes to ground. Off the ground by McArlein. Didn't work that time. It's been rushed through for another behind to the Cats. And they go to 15-17, 107. The Hamilton Magpies at 12 goals, 7-79. They want the next one and they want it quickly, do Hamilton. To ground it goes from the kick in. Number 24, Matthew Murphy dodges and weaves, finally back towards Alan Smith as he drives from the square. Johnson's underneath it, punch comes towards Hards, tap on, through for another behind, and they're valuable scoring shots for Hamilton. It doesn't for Casterton. It doesn't matter what they are, the ball's down their sector, and it's all that harder for the Maggies to work it back. 19 scoring shots at the moment to 33. But the margin, only 29 points. Big kick. Punch from behind. Next goal for the Cats will just about win it. Shannon, right foot long. Lithgow, the big leap, and didn't bring it down from behind. Howes will rush it through. But a bit of the magic and the excitement of Tony Lithgow. What a screamer that would have been.
For a man his size, unbelievable how far he got up there. Would have been the mark of the year in Western Border Football League. Kick in now by Howes, straight down the centre of the ground. Picken and Carroll. Picken takes a great mark, holds his ground very well. Gets up now. Turns around, kicks the ball wide, comes out here now towards Craig Hards. Hards got the ball on the grandstand wing. Handballs over the top to the running Block. Block gets it back to Hards. Good running football by Hamilton. Hards streams through the centre of the ground. 1 bounce, 2 bounce. Kicks the ball in short to the leading player, Sabatis. Punched away well by Guthrie. comes out here to number 17 in Casterton, Chris Foran, with his nice left foot pass. Comes out wide here now with the contest. Good tackle there by Hamilton, and the ball will be thrown in from outside.
Dean Hazels put the tackle on, David, and that was absolutely desperate. A desperate tackle from Dean Hazels. Had a wonderful game, the halfback flanker. And there have been many stars out there today. The Cats with the break at the moment. Perhaps they're going to be premiers in 1990, but the Magpies not lying down, signifying everything that Billy Picken stands for in football, his side today, as Howes forces it to the line. Williamson was with him all the way, and once again the throw-in will take place. Andrew McDonald to bring it back into play. Last man standing affair on the big open spaces of the Blue Lake Sports Park. The Cats have been the better side for most of the day. They lead at the moment. Can the Maggies resurrect something for 1990? They're playing for their survival out there now in Hamilton. Billy Picken's been in this position before, losing grand finals at much higher levels, but I think this one means almost as much to the captain coach. Bodies put in the centre. Good work, Stevens. He's had a terrific second half. Back to Stevens. Good feed out to Silsby. Ball given back towards Young. The fumble was critical. Players over the top of the ball. Silsby's there. Carroll was there as well. And a bounce up to take place.
A lot of tired players out there now, Jim. A lot of players with their socks down, and we're starting to feel the pressure right at this moment.
30 points to margin. The Cats lead 12-7, 15-19. Silsby in the traffic. Carroll. Smith. Looking forward. Johnson, good. Shepherd gives West space. On his own is McArlein. If he can get it on to boot, he can't. What a fabulous tackle that time by Groves. And this defence of Hamilton, all accolades from me, David.
They've stood firm this quarter, getting under great pressure at this stage.
Ball to ground that time by Kerr. They want runners. In fact, it's Shannon. Hand pass to West. The feed off to Smith. Smith from outside 50 goes long. Groves and Lithgow. Can he perform some magic? Lithgow in the left pocket. He tries to get around Groves. He gets around the second. He gets round Howes. He shoots on goal at that northern end. And Tony Lithgow has probably given the premiership to the Casterton Cats as he puts forward, through rather, his sixth goal, and that was Lithgow magic.
Absolutely sensational. The viewers out here and the people out here today at Blue Lake Sports Park seen a treat by a young man by the name of Tony Lithgow. Absolutely superb. Showed what Australian rules football is at its best. Fine skills by the young man and a great goal.
Well, considering he received such a heavy knock about 5 minutes ago, it's no surprise to us that Tony Lithgow got up. And there's the champ on screen. The man against him, Graham Woods, has worn him hard all day, but weight of numbers, I think, telling in the end. And that was absolutely magic from the 89 best and fairest medal winner in the Western Border League. Back in action now from the centre bounce. The Cats again. West has had some good touches. Kerr goes backwards. A chance now for Casterton. Picken, who's been tireless. Through the centre they charge. Here's this man again in Nigel Allen. Plenty of legs left for Allen. He's got run. He's had his third bounce. Running through centre. Kicks long towards centre half forward. McArlein underneath it, but from behind bench. Loose ball will come to Johnson. Running into an open goal. Gavin Johnson. Feed off to Lithgow. And Lithgow fumbles. He'll have time to pick it up and put it through.
Made it look easy. When you're hot, you're hot. It no matter what you do, Jim. Slipped over and still kicked the ball off the ground. But what a great run by Nigel Allen. That's 3 or 4 times this quarter now, particularly early in the game. And once again, beautiful passage of play to have such pace at this stage of the game.
Well, they've kicked the first 3 goals of the final term, the Casterton Cats. Hamilton have not scored, in fact, and so that's the reason why at this stage the Casterton Cats look like taking out the 1990 Grand Final, being brought to you here on 8, courtesy of Savings and Loans. And certainly we appreciate that fabulous sponsorship from Savings and Loans. Plenty of action left in the ball game. The Cats are doing well, but the Maggies, they won't lie down. West from the centre. He must be ruck roving now. Comes loose. Murphy goes in hard. Coming through Alan Smith, who's lifted. He kicks down long. A chance for running player number 4 is David Nolte. Closing on him is Hazel. Close to the boundary. A long kick from Hazel. Rather from that player Nolte in towards the full forward pocket. Kicked away that time by Johnson. McArlein, he'll be besieged. He'll hook it back on the right foot. Impossible angle that time, McArlein, and it's just missed. To the left. Through for 1 behind only. Number 9 on screen, Vic McArlein, had a big game as well. Williamson's had 18 kicks for the Casterton Cats. So has Tony Lithgow, the 2 superstars of the side. Greg Stevens has had 18 kicks as well for Hamilton. This is Gill, left footer towards half forward. Dempsey in front, good spoil from behind by Molloy. Silsby, tackle, hand pass off towards Hazel. Caught, good defence. Shannon towards McKenzie and over the line in front of the grandstand. And we're well underway in this last quarter, about halfway through. Umpire McDonald puts it back. Picken and Carroll, what a battle they've had. Free kick to Billy Picken.
Done a line-hearted job, Jim. He's rucked for most of this game today and has done a fantastic job for a man not so tall as what Glenn Carroll is. Gets the ball across to Salisbury. Salisbury gets the ball inside towards centre-half forward. Here's that man Carroll, gets underneath the ball, batters there, can't get hold of it. McKenzie scoops the ball out here towards where it runs loose. Coming in here's Picken. Picken goes through with the elbow, and a free kick will be paid to number 27 of Casterton, Chris Molloy.
Well, Chris Molloy gets the kick, but I think in fact Billy Picken just missed, and just as well.
Otherwise he might have been standing to take his kick. Molloy now with the kick. Brings the ball in towards centre-half forward. Players to contest. Williamson up high. Stewie beaten on the ground, tapped it towards the ground. Ball runs loose here towards Hards. Gets the ball on his left foot. Nice kick up here. Here's Picken under the ball again and takes a strong chest mark. Feeds the ball off to Gill. Gill gets onto his right foot now. In towards centre-half forward. Lowlat can't get at the ball. Buff Carlin gets it down. Comes to McKenzie. Streams through the middle of the ground. Down towards centre-half forward. Alan Smith and Young. Alan Smith stands his ground and takes a great mark. 60 metres out from goal.
And what a great last quarter Smith's had. In fact, he's had his 14th kick. Beautiful pass to Lithgow. Couldn't quite take it, Tony, that time. No free kick for that. Alan Smith, a big last quarter. Comes to ground. Bench has got a chance. Hand pass off the Woods. They'll get it out ahead. Desperation lunge from Lithgow. Alan Smith again. Kick number 15 coming up for Smith.
Great effort by Smith.
What a great player. Has felt disappointment at this level with Millicent when he captain coached them. But I think a Premiership Cup will go his way this afternoon. Kick in by Kerr. Offline, misses to the left, and they're just storming that goal at the northern end. And while that point goes on the board, we'll take a short break from the 1990 Grand Final. Stewie beaten back into play for the Maggies, 17-21 to 12-7. The margin looks beyond Hamilton. All the glory going to the Cats in their goal line now. Kick from Nolte, up and under, 1 point only. 22nd behind goes on the board, 17-22 to 12 goals 7.
Inaccurate at this stage, Casterton, but then again a lot of the shots have been under extreme pressure from the Hamilton back line as well, Jim.
Extreme pressure, David, and I think, as I said before, accolades to their defence. They've been under siege all afternoon, but a fantastic performance by the Hamilton side, especially those defenders, and Billy Picken as well, leading from the front, put himself into the ruck, and what a fantastic performance. Stewie beaten, brings it back in. A lot of the sting gone out of the game now, as you'd expect in a grand final. Top tempo for most of the day. Players can't keep that tempo up, and that lead must look like absolutely 10 goals for the Hamilton boys, and it's just been extended that time. Magnificent goal, McArlein. Received it from West. Good play, Casterton. And McArlein puts through his third goal. Casterton's 18th, Hamilton are only 12.
Great spectacle here, Jim. That goal was kicked in the young Casterton cheer squad behind the goals. Just about come right out the end of the 10-yard square there to indicate their gratitude towards their forward line players.
And I think there'd be a quiet celebration tonight at Casterton, do you think, David?
I think all doors will be open tonight, and the town of Casterton tonight will definitely sing the praises of these 20 players.
And the praises of their leader, Glenn Carroll, who's going to do battle now against another courageous leader in Billy Picken. There's the centre bounce. Carroll won that one. Great work out of the centre again by Foran. Almost hard. Here's McArlein who kicked the last goal. Cleared away, but Foran goes up and takes a very good mark.
Must be very close to one of the best men on the ground, Jim.
Kick number 18 for this man as well. He's also taken 11 marks, so he's had a big day. Kicks it wide, and that time Gavin Johnson comes in and takes the mark. Chips away, intercepted by Hazel. And out of defence they go. And David, the gate today, have a guess.
Oh, Jim, it's hard to say what it would be. It has to be around the $25,000 mark.
Near enough to $25,000, David. $24,000 and a lot more than that in hundreds. But certainly a big performance by the patrons of Mt.Gambier and the Western Border League to come along and support country football. The gate, almost $25,000. Glenn Carroll be holding the cup along, high rather, in a short amount of time, and he'll certainly enjoy that, but I'm sure he'll be the first to give credit to a very gallant Casterton team. Casterton 18-22, 130. Hamilton 12-7, 79. Into play again. Picken gets the hit around. Lithgow brought down and will receive a free kick, Tony Lithgow. Play advantage. No, they won't this time. The ball will come back.
He one tired boy tonight, Jim. I feel sure that Tony Lithgow will enjoy a squash after the game, no doubt.
No doubt indeed. In fact, Tony Lithgow, one of the superstars of the side, in fact, of Western Border League footy, has kicked 7 goals, David, this afternoon. And about to bring up kick, I think, number 19 or 20 for Tony. And it's a shame to even have to think about best players, because there have been 40 gallant guys out there this afternoon.
Everyone's given their best, regardless of what the result is. It's been a fine spectacle for the grand final today.
And played in pretty good spirit, We've had a few,
yes.
I think too, we've had a few skirmishes, but nothing untoward. They're just, as you'd expect in a grand final, a little bit of emotion, nothing dreadful. Hand passed away that time by Nigel Allen, but he held onto it too long. In fact, to travel on him, he's run too far, David.
Yes, carried the ball a bit too far, tried to create the space. Here's
Lollett. He's been quiet, Dave.
Yes, hasn't had many possessions since the first quarter. Gill's still in there trying. He's had lots of possessions this quarter again. He gets up now and right in the middle of the ground. Handball's crossed to Picken, crossed to Lollett. Lollett now onto his left boot. Kicks the ball in long. Punched away there by West. Comes out here now. The ball runs loose. Comes towards West. He's got the ball now. Nice handball cross to Ned Shannon. Another handball here now to Foran. Yet another possession. Deep into the play. 2 Casterton players here, and Alan Smith stands his ground and takes an easy mark.
Alan Smith will kick from about 45 metres, and I'm going to nominate that he will kick this, David.
He's just about due for one, Jim. He's just been a little bit too far out up till now.
Long kick from Alan Smith, off the boot, looks pretty good, and Alan Smith has kicked his 3rd. So the Cats triumphant in 1990 as Alan Smith brings up his 3rd and the team's 19th goal, 19-22 to 12 goals 7. They haven't scored in the final quarter, Hamilton, and obviously, David, that big fight back in the 3rd quarter taken a lot out of the Maggies.
Yes, it definitely did. And also, I noted just before 3/4 time that Glenn Carroll went off the ball for 5 or 6 minutes, gave himself a spell and has come back and has been instrumental in getting the ball out of the centre in this last quarter. Here we go, the bounce now by Greg McAllister. Once again, the 2 captain coaches, Picken and Carroll, to do battle. The bounce is straight up in the air. Both players in at it. Carroll gets it down beautifully to Foran, onto his right foot, out towards in the direction of Willerdort. Stands his ground here, and Willerdort nearly takes the mark. Young Michael Murphy onto his left foot now. Comes down towards Hazel. McArlein overruns the ball. Still running free. McArlein's back onto his left foot. Cross to Williamson. Williamson streams into an open goal on his right foot and kicks yet another goal for Casterton. Well done, Casterton. Very well done the middle of the ground by their captain coach. Got the ball down. They run the ball beautifully around the outside of the ground. And once again, another good goal to Casterton Football Club.
Well, Timmy Williamson won't be with the Casterton Cats in 91. He'll be at North Melbourne under Wayne Schimmelbusch. And he's had a fabulous afternoon. 20 kicks, and that was his 2nd goal. And he's taken, I think, somewhere in the vicinity of 11 to 12 marks. And that's a magnificent afternoon's work by Timmy Williamson. Tony Lithgow's complimented that form. There's a shot of Billy Picken on screen. And for mine, Picken nearly best man for his side. Still not giving up, still urging his team on. The man with great experience. There's a shot of Tony Lithgow, and guess who's next to him? Graham Woods. Back in the centre. Terry Walters to get us underway. Both umpires, an excellent exhibition of umpiring. The standard of the game, top class as well. A bit of the sting gone out now, but a great tempo in the first half. And that 3rd quarter fight back by Hamilton really entertaining the crowd, but it's been all the Cats in this last quarter as they go forward yet again. Groves a chance to tidy up for Hamilton. He'll get loose this time. Feed it off the bench. No, decides to kick himself back towards the centre. Player sitting under it is Glenn Carroll. From behind Groves, that's McKenzie. Feed off the Lithgow. He'll have a sore foot tonight too. Kicks it wide. Willerdort hasn't had much of a day, but he goes in this time. Can't take possession. There's Tony Lithgow again for another possession. Kicking into centre half forward, and McArlein marks the loose ball, and things are running their way now, Casterton.
Some very tired boys out there now, Jim, as Mickey McArlein lines up. Goes in short, looking for Michael Murphy, and finding Michael Murphy under great attention, but stood his ground beautifully, and will now shoot from goal from about 35 metres out directly in front.
Well, they're going to win the ball game, David, but I think there are going to be a few bruises tonight, no matter how well they enjoy the orange juice.
Sorry boys, I'd say.
Certainly indeed, and don't forget we're watching courtesy of Savings and Loans, and we certainly appreciate their very kind and generous sponsorship. The 1990 Western Border League Grand Final from Blue Lake Sports Park, courtesy of Savings and Loans.
good to see the crowd stop right to the end too, Jim, which is really good, which both sides are deservingly, need the crowd to stay around to pay patronage to them. But it's been a great day out here at Blue Lake Sports Park today. And Michael Murphy lines up 35 metres out now, directly in front. Should kick this goal and make Casterton's 21st. Comes in now. It's a nice kick off the boot. Just perhaps fading a little bit. Tired legs and through for 1 point.
Well, almost in slow motion now as Matthew Murphy misses to the left that time. And Murphy today has not kicked the goal, but he's been a significant player in his team's great grand final victory. There's the veteran. 50-metre penalty from the kick-off to Stewie Beaton. Stewie Beaton, of course, played in Hamilton's last grand final win, David.
Yes, been a great player, Stewie. I think perhaps we might see the end of him today. It's hard to say what will happen, whether he'll go on or not, but good luck to him anyway.
Beaton, noted for his long kicking. This is no exception. Well into the centre. Big leap from Gill was ambitious. Comes to ground. Block has tried to lift in the second half. Hand pass off the Lollett, who's been quiet. Here's a chance for Silsby. Goes wide to Hazel. Hazel's got Black, but he can't get the ball to him. Guthrie's got the sit on batters. Good spoil. Chance for Black to get the loose ball. Should he go to the square? On his own in the square this time is Dempsey. In fact, just short of the square, but Shane Dempsey a chance to bring up a major. Dempsey's kick one.
Acquitted himself quite well today, Shane Dempsey. Been quite a handy player for Hamilton today. Moved around the forward line quite well and picked up many possessions.
Well, the left footer a chance on his natural foot, kicking from the angle. Off the boot, it's fading left, but I think he's made it. And well done to Shane Dempsey, bringing up the first goal for the Magpies in the last quarter of the 1990 Western Border League Grand Final. That's goal number 13 to the Maggies. They go to 13 goals, 9. Casterton 20-23. A big lead to the Casterton Cats, a big win. And a shot of the crowd in there, the Hamilton supporters staying till the end. There's a shot of Shane Dempsey with the mo and the goatee. And there's a shot of Captain Coach Courageous, Billy Picken. And he'll go again against his arch rival, but I've got a feeling there's a good relationship between these two coaches, Carroll and Picken. There's Glenn Carroll. He'll hold the Premiership Cup high. Favours Picken. Picken down. Krill bounce, goes back to Carroll. Carroll does the roving, kicks in short, and Stewie Beaton will mark in defence for Hamilton. The veteran. Full-back in the 81 Grand Final team, which Hamilton won. They won the replay that year.
Great mark, Glenn Carroll.
And Carroll goes up and marks.
He's done a good job. Glenn Carroll in the middle of the ground now. Takes his time, goes back. No doubt he'll kick the ball long here. 6 marks to Glenn Carroll, but he's done the great ruck work, as you say. Been brilliant, David. Jim. Played a very, very fine game. Both captains can take their hats off to him. Comes now wide here. Comes out towards in the way of Nolte. Taps the ball wide for himself. Picks it up now. Turns on his right foot. Handball cross here. And his fields play, it's called play on downfield. Nolte was put down behind play. Foran gets it across here towards McArlein. McArlein kicks a goal. And it was on behind play, David, because Nolte was put down and is still down. The ball was allowed to go on. Mickey McArlein's kicked the goal. He's kicked his 4th. Don't worry about that. That's really a forlorn effort by Hamilton. I don't know that numbers were taken then. Terry Walters did intervene. Glenn Carroll's there with his young rover, David Nolte. Nolte was put down, but as David called it, play was allowed to go on. And Mickey McArlein shoved one through. That's a vital goal. Well, when I say vital goal, it's another goal to the Casterton side. And they're certainly looking triumphant as they march towards the 1990 Western Border League Grand Final. Premiership Grand Final for them. A losing Grand Final for the Maggies. 21-23 to 13-7. Lithgow out of the centre. His kicks will tally in the 20s. This is Hards. He's had plenty as well. 18 kicks for Hards, goes left foot, outer wing, big leap and a good mark that time taken by Howells, who is now on the forward line. The defender in attack now, runs off the ball, long kick, block, good grab, and Paul block, perhaps too far out. He'll kick from about 55, goes long, Batters wants it from behind, Guthrie, off hands Black, goal coming up Hamilton. And well read off the hands by Noel Black that time to bring up his 2nd goal. And goal number 15 now. Well, Jim, 14 for the Maggies. I think no matter what happens with the result here, that you'd have to play accolades to both coaches. Billy Picken from the Hamilton Football Club and Glenn Carroll from the Casterton Football Club. Done an absolute magnificent job here today. Both their leadership, their coaching, everything that possibly could be named about a coach, they've done it today. And I think that every everyone should feel very, very proud from both clubs of their two coaches.
7 goals, 9 to Casterton in the last quarter. 2 goals to the Hamilton Maggies as West takes it out of the centre. Bounces unkind to Willerdort. This is Groves, been a good defender. This is Silsby, he's tried hard. Inside to Hazel, feeds off nicely that time. Long kick from Woods. Chance for Batters, blocks back there, this is Batters. Tries to get loose, goal coming up Hamilton. Shot by Batters is good, and Paul Batters puts through his 5th goal. He's been fairly impressive in the second half, though.
Yes, Jim didn't quite do enough in the first half. Was beaten easily in the first half, but to his character, he's fought back and did very well in the second half with five fine goals.
We'll just get a tally on exactly how many kicks Batters has had, but certainly he's had a good second half.
Yeah, he's done very well in the second half. Batters has had 9 kicks in the second half, Jim, so he's done very well.
Certainly has, and that was his, in fact, 5th goal. So Paul Batters has kicked 5 from limited opportunities, but made each one count. Carroll and Picken won that one. Here's Black again, he kicked the last goal, feet off the gill. They're finishing well, the Maggies. Kick goes wide, chasing is Dempsey. Chris Molloy chases with him, the youngster. Dempsey tries hard, comes loose the block. Free kick will go the way of Hamilton, and it'll go to Shane Dempsey. Dempsey, big kick, Batters the long reach. Will he recover well on the ground, the big fella? Only a youngster. Comes loose, this is Gill. Grabbed high twice, but only the one free kick. And Andrew Gill from the right forward pocket at the southern end of the Blue Lake Sports Park. A chance to increase the score for Hamilton and put them into 3 figures. They've got 97 points so far. That kick won't help much, only by 1. 15 goals 8, 98 to 21, 23, 149.
Ground bathed in sunshine, Jim, which is lovely to see towards the end of the game. Let's hope it holds out for the presentation of the Premiership Cup.
Oh, typical Mt.Gambier weather, David. Long kick. This is Guthrie on his own. That centre half back, he'll be caught and is met, but is okay. The kick's not good. This is McKenzie, the full-back down the ground. One of the last sorties forward now for the Casterton side. Here's the chance for Johnson. Traps it beautifully, good strong body. Hand passes off. Long kick that time for the Cats on goal is going to miss right. And another behind. 21, 24, 150. The Cats and Hamilton. 15 goals 8, 98. All the sting gone now. Most of the run gone as well. The game being played in slow motion. But a big last quarter and a big first half for the Casterton Cats, and clearly the superior side. The kick in by Bench. Big leap Lithgow. He wants to take a screamer.
He's trying his hardest out there at the moment. It's amazing how he's got so much spring in his leg. Comes round to Williamson now on his left foot. Kicks it in towards the goals, and it's just offline to the right and through for 1 point.
Well, what's your opinion, David? Tony, is Timmy Williamson good enough for AFL football?
Yes, Jim, it'll be interesting to see how he goes. He's not overly well built, so his body strength might test him out a little bit. The kick in towards Howes. Howes has got his hands on the ball. Comes across to Willerdort. Out here now, running towards Soulsby now, who must be having a run on the ball. Gets the ball around on his right foot. Comes here towards Gill. Gill on his left hand now. Cross towards Groves. Groves onto his right foot. Kicks the ball down towards Black. But these players are running up and down in the one spot nearly now. And I see there Nicky Foster, the president of the Casterton Football Club, got his first touch for the day.
And he'll be a very happy man. There he is, a gentleman himself, president of the victorious club in 1990, Mick Foster. Well done, Mick. And it won't be long before he'll be touching that Premiership Cup as well. What a great year for the Casterton side. Certainly a lot of local talent and the right recruits. A good blend, David.
Yes, they've got the tools and they've got the runners, and they've certainly combined beautifully today. Back in play.
Foran, what a player he's been. He must be close to best on ground.
Oh, had many possessions.
This is the champ himself that time, Shannon. West. And to the boundary line. In fact, it was over the boundary line. And it will be thrown back in by Andrew McDonald.
I notice the Casterton supporters getting closer and closer to the boundary line down there, Jim. They're getting very eager for this game to be over with now.
And they'll rush on and congratulate their heroes this afternoon. And in doing that, I'm sure they'll commiserate with the gallant Magpie band. The Black and Whites going down for 1990 in Western Border League footy. And of course, the grand final replay brought to you by Savings and Loans. And we're deep into time on. Not much left in the game as the sting's gone from the run. Throw in. Comes to Picken. Shannon. Back this time. A chance that time for Molloy. He can't break with the ball. And a throw in will take place. Carroll to ground. Shannon, good defender. Long hand pass. Darren Carlin. Chips in short, this time taken by Dean Hazel. Goes for a run, he'll be tackled by McArlein, but gets a kick. Wobbles off the boot, and there's the final siren, but I think there'll be a free kick downfield. It may not be the last of the action, and the Casterton crowd rush onto the ground. In fact, it will be the last of the action. The scores won't count. No free kick downfield. Final scores, Casterton Premiership, Hamilton 15-8-98. The mighty victorious Cats 21-25, 151, as their jubilant supporters rush to Glen Carroll, and a magnificent tribute to a great club in 1990, David Case.
Yes, congratulations to the Casterton Football Club. They've certainly been the best side. I've seen them play East Gambier in the first game of the year. They impressed me then, and they've carried that form right through the year. Congratulations to Glen Carroll and his boys, and to Mickey Foster, and let's hope they have a nice celebration. I just take a look on the ground here now, Jim. I'd say that nearly everyone in Casterton would be on Blue Lake Sports Park at this moment, and it's a wonderful spectacle to see on behalf of the Western Border Football League.
Fantastic result for the Western Border Football League, in as much as well it is a Casterton victory, but certainly the mighty Magpies, led well by captain coach Billy Picken, going down for season 1990, but they were a tribute to their club and of course to their league. The margin in the end, 53 points in favour of the Casterton Cats, and certainly their first premiership victory since 1969 in Western Border League footy. As we said, the Maggies won last in 1981 when they defeated Mt.Gambier in the replay, but all accolades go to the Casterton Cats. Fantastic performance from them. Let's run through some goal kickers for you. Tony Lithgow kicked 7 goals for Casterton today. Mickey McArlein kicked 4, 3 to Alan Smith and 2 to Timmy Williamson. And for the Hamilton Magpies, 5 goals to the youngster Paul Batters, and we haven't heard the end of this young man in Western Border League football. A fantastic performance by Paul Batters, especially as David said in that second half. 3 goals to Mick Silsby and 2 goals to Andrew Gill and 2 goals to Noel Black. 15-8, 21-25, a lot of scoring shots to the Magpies, and there we see a dejected but I'm sure proud Billy Picken. His team really put in hard today and led from the front by Picken. I think an outstanding performance by him, David.
Oh, absolutely superb, Jim. He started off at centre half 40, then moved himself to centre half back onto Williamson, went into the ruck halfway through the second quarter, and the battle between him and Carroll was one of the many highlights on the ground. But a magnificent job by Billy Picken, and I feel he should be congratulated by his club and by the league.
Well, you'd have to mention players like Malcolm Groves, Dean Hazel, Graham Woods. We know Andrew Howells played well for the losers today. Andrew Young battled hard in ruck, and many, many good players led well by Billy Picken. We can't forget Gill and Silsby. Greg Stevens the second half. Block also lifted in the second half. Lollett was a little quiet, but someone like Billy Picken, who just fantastic today, ended up with 16 kicks, 10 marks to Billy Picken and 9 handballs. A fantastic leader from the front. For Casterton, Tony Lithgow 22 kicks, Timmy Williamson 20 kicks and 9 marks. Lithgow also had 8 marks. Kerr had 14 kicks and 5 marks. Foran 19 kicks, in fact, David, and we said he played well, and 9 marks as well.
Yes, a great spectacle out here today. Fought in great spirit. Both players went in very, very hard. Stevens' second half was superb when he had 11 kicks in the third quarter, ended up with a total of 17 kicks. Hards played very well on the back line, picked up many possessions, 20 kicks and 10 marks for a player of his size, and some of his dashes out of the back line were superb. Howells tried hard all day, 18 kicks, never gave up, played at both ends of the ground and played very, very well. But overall, I felt as though that the Hamilton side, their back line has to be patted on the back. They did a magnificent job up there under great pressure all day. And I feel as though tonight the Hamilton Football Club can still feel very proud of their efforts in 1990.
Certainly, David, and it's time now for us to close from Blue Lake Sports Park, but stay tuned because we've got great AFL coming up. AFL action today coming up. The highlights of the game between Melbourne and the West Coast Eagles from Waverley coming up shortly. But before we go, let me thank David Case and our statisticians today for their great performance. Also Colin Murdoch down on the boundary line and the production team led by Robin Reid. But for now, Jim Buckley signing off from the Blue Lake Sports Park. But stay tuned, AFL action coming up. Thanks, Corey, very much, mate. Terrific job.